Hello and welcome to round 4 of the FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. My name is Lewis Ray and alongside me for this weekend is Adam Reid. We have 30 fantastic races coming up this weekend, but before we get into that, let's have a look at the paddock when we had the walk and the chat to some of the riders. So we're here in the paddock now and we're going to have a little walk around the paddock, see what's happening because it's lovely conditions here at Ellough Park. But first of all, how do you think this round's going to go this weekend with it being such nice weather for these riders, Adam?
Well, I think it's definitely going to be fantastic action. We've seen it so many times throughout Red Lodge last couple of weeks ago. I really think we're going to be seeing the same again. There's so many talented riders that have had experiences at Donington recently, and then they're going to be off to Knock Hill next week, so very excited to see where these riders are off to.
Well, there's some riders just sitting over here, and actually Luke Fitchett is just sitting relaxing. And Luke, is it alright to have a quick word?
Yeah, it's fine.
So Luke, how are you feeling going into this weekend at Ellough Park?
From coming off of Red Lodge with 2 wins on the 70 and 3 seconds on the 50, I felt that I'd had such a good season so far that this isn't my favourite track, so if I could squeeze out a few really good results, then I'd be really happy.
And I was just speaking to you earlier, and you mentioned that, your dad mentioned that you got a new bike for this round, a completely new bike. So tell us, first of all, what the differences is between your old 70 and the new one that you've now got.
In practice, I was going quite quick, but I wasn't quite comfortable on the bike trying to get it turned in the corners, so we had a new 70 that we hadn't been able to test yet, so we got it out and rode it, and I loved it straight away. So we put the other bodywork on it and we're going to race it.
And what's been the biggest difference between the two bikes that you've noticed while riding it on track?
Probably it just steers better. When you get into a corner, I got tired because I was trying to wrestle it to turn it, whereas this, it like just turns really not easily.
And finally, last round, of course, at Red Lodge, you had a slight mechanical, I believe, and it caused a multiple bike collision. But first of all, tell us what happened in that crash, and are you okay from that?
Yeah, I'm fine, and I hope everyone else was. But the base gasket for the water blew out the front of the bike, so all the water went onto my back tyre on the track, and nothing I could do, and I went down, and then everyone else went down on the water as well. So yeah.
Well, everyone looks to be okay from that, and it looks to be great weather for this weekend, so good luck.
Thank you very much.
And just behind Luke is Finlay Paul Hill, which seems to be walking away, and he's getting dragged into it actually. So Finlay, how are you this weekend? It looked like you were trying to avoid us there as you almost fell before you even got out on the bike, so how are you?
I'm alright. Difficult weekend so far, but I'll try my best in this one.
And what's been difficult so far this weekend?
Well, I think there's something wrong with the bike. I just have no power down the straights and out the corner.
And have you got any idea what could be the issue of that? Any idea what to try before the races later on?
So we're changing the gearing, so hopefully that'll help in both of them.
And apart from that issue, how are you feeling on the bike?
I'm feeling quite comfortable in it. We've made some adjustments to the suspension, but other than that, it feels good.
And I believe this is the first time that we've properly spoke to you for this year, so how's your season going so far?
Yeah, it's going alright. I had to miss Red Lodge on the Saturday because I had to go to a wedding, but other than that, it's been a good week, good season so far.
And at Red Lodge, missing of course the Friday and the Saturday, how difficult was it to make up on that track time that you missed to then go out on Sunday and compete near the front?
It was really hard because everyone had already had all the track time, and I came and had nothing at all, so I just had to go for it in the races and start from last.
Well, good luck for the rest of the year and good luck this weekend here at Ellough Park.
Thanks.
So we're going to go a little walk and, well, annoy some of the riders, but yeah, it's been a lovely weekend so far. And Adam, if you want to come back and join me. So it's been amazing so far this weekend. It's been consistent weather conditions for everyone here, and they've had loads of good running on track. So how do you think that's going to play for these guys this weekend with it being such consistent track conditions?
It's going to be great for them. I think that it's really going to be useful. The track conditions are continuously improving. It's starting to really grip him. there was a lack definitely yesterday with the karting grip, and then they've just kept going over it, and it's really increased the bike grip, so it's more used to these riders. I think it's really going to play out well for them. There's no rain in the air, so they won't have to struggle with that either. I think that's really going to be crucial. I think we've got a couple of riders over here.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of riders over here. Dylan Tureen in the back here, and Blake Wilson's on in. So, Dylan, how are you this weekend, and how's this season going for you so far?
Good.
And you're on a Mini GP 50 now, so how's it been competing with a geared bike?
It feels like more changing gears, easy, but I just managed to get my elbow down a lot at a different track, so now I'm getting it down both sides. So yeah.
And in the Mini GP 50 class this year, we have over 20 bikes racing on the same bit of tarmac. So how's it been racing in such a big class?
It's quite easy when you're on the grid. You don't really notice that much people. So yeah.
And Ellough Park, is this a track that you enjoy, and is it a track that you like riding?
Yeah, sometimes. Once I came here for a practice day here once, but yeah, it was good. I like it.
Well, good luck for this weekend, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And just next to Dylan is Marco Holt and Harry Payne. So Marco, having a little seat at the moment, you're looking comfortable this year, of course fighting for both the 50 and 70 championships. So is this year going how you expected?
Yeah, it's going really well actually. Yeah, the 50s we're really happy with, solid on that. The 70, we struggled a bit in the first 2 rounds. The double header at Lid, was it? Red Lodge, we had a good round, so just hoping here at Ellough, it's one of my favourite tracks, so just hoping to good results and finish the races.
And you mentioned that it's been a somewhat tough start to the year on the 70, so why do you think that is? Do you think it's maybe just the tracks that you've been racing on, or has there been something slightly missing with the bike or the setup?
I just think it's generally all of us as riders have improved, so it's bringing the competition on a lot more. So.
And the 50, leading the championship at the moment, how do you approach the rest of the season so far? Of course, round 4 now, the halfway point of the season, so how are you approaching the championship?
Just go out, enjoy and ride the bike really. Have some fun with Archie, have some fun with other riders, just ride.
And Luke Fitchett has been incredibly strong this year, especially in the 70s. Do you think you can rival him? Do you think maybe you're his main competition right now? Here at Ellough Park, do you think you can match his pace?
Yeah, for sure. I reckon it's going to be a great race. It's going to be really tough. Going to have to work towards it, but it's racing, isn't it? So.
And finally, this year, of course, and last year, you raced that FAB, and last year you did some running in Spain as well, some racing in Spain. So are you doing any action in Spain this year, or are you focusing just solely on FAB-Racing?
No, we're doing Moto 5 this year again. We were going to do Moto 4, but because of the ages, we couldn't. I think there's one round that clashes, but Landau has just been cancelled, so we've only got one now that clashes. So.
And with that one round that clashes, are you going to pick here at FAB, or are you going to head over to Spain in the sunshine?
Depends championship-wise, so we'll see.
Well, good luck for this year, and wish you all the best in the championship.
Thank you.
Well, that was Marco Holt. Marco Holt has been incredibly impressive all this year, and well, Adam, I think you can agree, Marco Holt is definitely one of the talents to look out for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. He's leading the championship, I believe, in the Mini 50 class, so that's really confident for him, and I'm sure he can carry it on for the 70 class. And we keep going on through the paddock. We're just seeing I think that's Olio Gorman's bike just being carried. We see a few sessions happening at the moment. We've got Zach Torian included at the moment here. So Zach, how are the conditions out there at the moment?
Well, it's really grippy. I mean, there was a lot of rubber on the circuit yesterday from the tracks. I actually spoke with the owner, and at some stage they put new tires on their go-karts. So it was really, really sticky, really difficult to judge the conditions, but I mean, there's a clean line that's opened up now. So it's a lot better today, I think, the pace than it was yesterday. Everybody seems to be going better, but yeah, you know, we'll take it as it is. It's really hot. I'm not sweating, I've been pouring water on myself to cool down. But yeah, we'll see where we get today. I mean, I'm going out in both the classes, so a lot of fast riders here again, trying to get to the top, but we'll see what it lays. Practice this morning felt really good. I think everybody was saying positive things. The track's warmed up really well. Got a feeling it might get a bit greasy later on, but again, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the track condition might change at some point during the weekend, but do you feel confident? Do you think you can adapt to that?
Yeah, I mean, we have to adapt. The bikes always behave slightly differently. Then again, that's what we do. It's who can make the best of the situation, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you so much, Zach.
No worries.
As we just continue on at the moment, we're seeing a couple more riders over here, so we'll try and grab a quick word. But definitely, Zach is quite confident. Do you think, Lewis?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's great seeing as well with Zach and Dylan, of course, Faber and Son here at Fab. We have so many Faber and Son duos that are racing, so yeah, it's great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like to see that we've got so many father-son duos, and how we're such a close family as well, which I find incredibly interesting.
Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see so many riders that show so much talent.
So I think we've got Mr. Luca Allen over here. If we can try and grab a quick word, Luca. Hey, how are you, mate?
You alright? Yeah, good, thank you.
So you were injured last time out for Red Lodge, but you're back now. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's alright. We're just we've had Donington since last round of Fab. That was good. We had a fourth in class for the GP2, and then the second race we had a fourth in class again, but we was battling with Harvey Claridge for third, so it was an improvement, big improvement on time as well. But it's just getting back comfortable with the bike again after a big injury like that. And then we're just back here again for more seat time, just playing about, nothing too serious, just having a bit of a play before Knockhill next weekend.
So you're confident going into not just here at Ellough Park, but you're confident going into Knockhill as well?
Yeah, it should be good. I've only ever ridden an R3 around there, so it'll be pretty wild on the Moto 2, because obviously the stiff chassis, the power of a 600, it'll be good. Yeah, it'll be fun, it'll be interesting.
What do you think of Ellough Park? Because it seems like a really unique circuit to me.
It's definitely one of them where if you just look at it flows more like a big bike track. You get a lot of go-kart tracks, various others, and they're just stop-start, a lot of them. It's like, you go down the straight, oh, there's hairpin, there's chicane, there's hairpin, there's chicane. It's like, it's repetitive, it's the same sort of thing, but here it flows more like a big bike track would, like Donington or something like that, definitely.
Yeah, I think a lot of our riders here do like those smooth tracks, not those stop and start. Are you one of those ones?
Yeah, definitely. It's faster corner speed, that's why it's better. It feels better when the setup's right, everything feels nice, yeah.
Thanks so much for your time.
No worries, thank you.
Back to Lewis now.
Yeah, cheers for that, Adam. Yeah, it's great hearing from Luca Allen, of course, helping a lot of the young riders out here at Fab. And actually, Harrison Day's just watching some of the mini GB50s go around the track. So, Harrison, are we all right to have a quick word? So, Harrison Day, how are you this year? I mean, it's the first time we spoke to you all season. How's your season going so far back here at Fab once again?
So at Leeds, it was a double weekend, so I didn't do too well. My best result in the elite was 5th, and then we came to Red Lodge, and I had a bit of a problem in qualifying, and then we qualified, I think it was 9th, and in the first race I got 4th, and then second race I got 8th, and then the fourth race 4th again. And then this weekend we done practice yesterday, and I was really consistent. I was near enough 3rd the whole day, and today we done qualifying, and I just went 1st.
Well, it's really good at the top, at the front consistently. So are you enjoying racing the bike again? Are you enjoying being here on track? Because obviously last year, for example, at Clandau, at the second round, you had a big injury to your arm, I think it was. So how are you feeling? Are you 100% all over again? Are you enjoying riding bikes?
So this track here was actually my first round back after breaking my arm. So this year we didn't know what to expect coming here.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for this weekend, Harrison. It's great seeing you at the track.
Thank you.
And well, Ollie Sims is just having a quick chat from Luke Allen, but we'll see if we can jump in for a quick word. Ollie, is it alright if we have a quick chat? So Ollie Sims, we've been watching you all day, and I think you're having some sort of technical issues with your bike, so can you tell us what's happening there?
Yeah, at the minute we don't really know. It's a bit of a fueling problem, I think. The carb was leaking first session. We don't know what's going on at the minute.
So is it just whenever you're riding, the bike's just spluttering and dying pretty much, cutting out?
Yeah, it keeps like bugging. It will start like bugging and then it will just cut out completely.
Well, do you reckon you can get fixed with a race, or is it just going to be a gamble on whether you can find the exact problem to it?
Yeah, hopefully we can get it fixed by second qualifying and later. But yeah, we don't know at the minute.
And if we put all the technical issues aside at the moment, how's your season been so far? Is it a year that you've been happy with?
Yeah, it's going really well. This round we're doing Extreme 200s as well, which is good. Yeah, but so far, so good.
And everyone watching at home, the Extreme 200 class, it's quite an odd class to watch. You know, there's a lot of different styles of bikes. There's pit bikes, there's 2-strokes, there's 4-strokes. So what's it like to ride in the Extreme 200 class?
Yeah, it's my first weekend doing it. It's going all right. Yesterday we also had some bike issues, but yeah, it was really good.
And finally, here at Ellough Park, it's sunny conditions today. So is it difficult to ride in the sun here today, or does it not really matter too much on for example, the Mini GP70? Do you not feel it too much?
No, I do get really hot, yeah. But yes, it's going all right.
Well, wish you the best of luck for this weekend, and good luck and have some fun.
Thank you.
Well, it's great hearing from Ollie Sims, one of our talented riders that we have here at FAB, of course. And Adam, I think you can agree with me here with, for example, Ollie Sims, and with both the Mini GP 70 and the 50 class in general this year. The classes have expanded so much, it's so great to see.
Oh, absolutely. We want to see as many riders as possible. I think it's crucial to see these upcoming riders. They need exposure as well to be able to get those sponsorships that are much needed and get to the top. So I would love to be able to see in the next 5 years, like some of these riders that are just hanging around this FAB-Racing paddock, just seeing them up at the top end of the pyramid. And I think that's fantastic to see. So we're just going to have a continue walk down here and move towards, I believe this is the Mini GP50s.
Yeah, it's both 50s and 70s, part of the Danny Webb GP camp, and a lot of riders are in the camp. I mean, we have Archie O'Brien and we have Chloe Gleason. We have a lot of the top riders in Danny GP's camp, and they're doing a great job. They're being able to help the riders away from the circuit as well.
Absolutely, that sounds absolutely amazing. We're just seeing the some of the sidecars getting ready, so I'm not sure if we're able to go to them just yet, but I think that is this is the Mini GP50s that are currently out on circuit at the moment, so we'll maybe try and grab a quick word if they come zooming past us in the paddock.
Yep, and no one currently in the awning at the Danny Webb GP camp at the moment, but I believe Sidecars are just about to head onto the circuit, so it's a bit too late to speak to them. But yeah, right, just headed into the paddock at the moment, so I don't think we're going to catch anyone just yet. But Bradley Curtis is just coming our direction. So Bradley, is it okay to have a quick word?
Yeah.
So Bradley, it's you came at Railroad last year here at FAB, of course, with your sister Lucy, who's just coming back into the paddock at the moment. So how are you enjoying your time here at FAB-Racing?
It's fun, and they're all fast, and I have quite a lot of friends. It's competitive, and they don't give you a gap to overtake or anything. So.
And you came here to FAB from the Scottish Championship, from the Scottish Mini Motor Championship. So what's been the biggest difference racing in Scotland to here at FAB?
Scotland has like slowest groups to fast groups, where we just go with it, and we have fast groups. Scottish a bit slower, and yeah.
And this weekend, have you got any aims or expectations for yourself? How are you hoping Ellough Park to go?
To try and get top 5.
And this season so far is, of course, you've had quite a lot of experience racing at different types of venues. Luckily, not too much wet track time, but with the sun being out here today and it looks like it's been dry all weekend, how are you feeling towards that and here at Ellough Park? Is it a circuit you enjoy?
Yeah, and I kind of hope it goes well in the race because my bike had a few problems, but I hope my dad's fixed it. But I know he has. I just hope he hasn't done anything wrong. So yeah.
Well, good luck, and we wish you all the best this weekend, and hopefully no more bike issues.
Thank you. Wow.
And just behind Bradley is Matthew Thomas. And Matthew, you look pretty sweaty. How are you feeling? Of course, you've just came off the Mini GP50. Is it difficult to ride out there at the moment in these hot conditions?
Yes, because it's hard to overtake when against slow people. So you have to get a good drive out of the final corner to overtake down the straight.
Well, in the Mini GP50 class this year, you've had quite a successful start to your year. You've been consistently getting your lap times down and consistently getting further up the order, moving from the Mini Motos. So how's it been racing both the Mini Motos and the Mini GP50 in the same year?
It's quite hard because if it's one elite then 50, I'll have to put my 50 in here and then have to change my boots quickly and then get on my 50 to ride.
And at this track, you've mentioned just before you came in, it's quite difficult to get past some of the slower riders. So at this venue, how do you approach overtaking? Do you have to almost block past them, or do you have to get the move done nice and early?
So so when I'm looking around the corner, I have a good drive, and then if I can't get by side, I can go underneath them and keep next to them, and then on the exit I get a good drive and get past them.
So here at Ellough Park, is it all on the corner exit on when you can get the overtakes done on the bigger bikes?
Yeah, so down there is a good overtaking spot because you can go on the later brakes and just block past them and still have a good exit up here.
Well, we're going to wish you the best of luck for this weekend, Matthew, and have some fun.
Thank you.
And I could just spot as well Henry back here. So I believe that you missed last round anyway. So why don't you tell us why you missed it and where you were instead of here at FAB?
We did go to Spain. We went to just for training really. We went on a couple of big tracks, Cartagena, and it was quite good out there to be fair. And it was good, yeah.
And how was the time out in Spain? What were you riding?
I was riding a 190, a GRC 190, and a Motor 4.
And how does that compare to these Mini GP70s that you're currently racing?
I think the Motor 4 is obviously a lot bigger wheels. The GRC is it's a completely different bike. You sort of have to have a different riding style when you ride it. It's a lot different, and it's better being back here and racing with these lots, so it's good.
And this weekend so far, you've had plenty of time to practice, so how's the practice sessions been so far? Yeah,
it's been good. I haven't really seen my results, but based off of what I think I'm doing, I think I'm pretty strong.
And missing one of the rounds, how does that affect the way that you look towards your championship?
I think this year is maybe just a practice year, trying to get ready for maybe Spain next year, Motor 4. So we're just using it as track time and racecraft.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season, and we hope that you enjoy yourself this weekend out in the sun. You don't have to be in Spain to enjoy the sun at the moment.
I know. Yeah, thank you.
Right, and I believe let's just go walk down here. Of course, Adam, it's near an airport here, so there's airplanes coming across loads of times. So it's not just the bikes making a ruckus around here, but as he was mentioning, Spain is becoming ever increasingly popular with riders. Many riders heading over, having some fun out there. So how much do you reckon it's going to benefit them heading out to Spain rather than just staying in the UK?
Definitely, for someone who's not really into bikes, I have heard that Spain is pretty much seems to be the place to be. But there's definitely a load of circuits out there in Spain that can get that are great circuits, especially like Jerez, I know Aragon, and maybe Barcelona. We see a couple of the, I believe it's the pit bike 140 class. So if we want to, not entirely sure if they're all getting ready. So it looks like they're not ready to get interviewed just yet. But we'll just have a look down here at some of the smaller classes. And but as I was saying, Spain, they've got a great amount of circuits, and there's definitely a few places where you can get the testing and the mileage in, and it will be benefiting them, especially if they want to progress forwards.
And we'll speak to some of our younger riders here at FAB. Of course, many different classes, and people starting from as young as 5 and 6 years old. So first of all, why don't you tell everyone what your name is and what class you're racing in this weekend?
My name is Emerson Oakley and I ride in the rookies.
And Emerson, how are you enjoying the rookies this year? Of course, you're just starting your racing journey, your racing career, so how are you enjoying it here at FAB?
I am quite enjoying it here at FAB. And Ellough is quite good track.
And how's the racing been so far this year? Has it been close battles in the rookies?
Yeah, there's been quite a few close battles in the rookies.
And with you just starting riding these mini motor machines, what have you had to learn to be able to go quick on it?
So I've had to learn that you if you're not on the throttle, you're on the brake, but if you're not on the brake, you're on the throttle.
No time wasted in the rookies, it's a competitive class. So what are you working on at the moment with yourself or with the bike?
I'm working on my turning, because every time I turn, I slow down. I don't use the throttle. I slow down. When I get to the right bit, then I use the throttle.
Well, we wish you the best luck this weekend, Emerson, and we hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
So riders of all ages here at FAB enjoying the sun and enjoying the racing, but there is a rare sight actually of Mick Williams, of course, leading the championship. So we'll have a quick walker talk. He doesn't like interviews too much, so we're going to have to force him. But Mick Williams, is it okay if we have a quick chat while you bring the bike back to the paddock?
Yeah, quick one, yeah.
So how's this year going so far? You're continuing your dominance. How does it feel?
Yeah, it seems to be getting harder and harder every year, though, I must admit. It's all good, yeah.
And with your dominance for so many years, what do you think it is that's separating you from everyone else on the grid at the moment?
Well, I just think I've been doing it the longest out of everybody. I've just got more experience. I think that's it, really. Yeah, nothing special about me. I mean, just experience. So that's all, really.
And Ellough Park, is it a track that you enjoy in the sidecars? What's it like for trying to make an overtake here?
It's not too bad, to be fair. There is places where you've got opportunity to overtake, but it's a nice track. It's a bit warm for me today, but it is what it is.
Well, cheers for that, Mick. It's great to see you in the paddock.
Thank you.
Well, that, of course, championship leader in the Mini F1 sidecars. And, well, Adam, your first time seeing the Mini F1 sidecars was last round, so what was your first impressions?
They were definitely new. I didn't expect them to be so good. We saw a lot of carnage as well, which entirely impressed me. They're a neat piece of kit as well. It's so incredible to see them leaning over and trying to get the turn in as well. The technique in those sidecars are second to none, and I really enjoy watching them out on track. It's a joy to see something different, not just the one like the single seaters bikes, but seeing a bit of partnership in them, which I find really interesting.
Well, yeah, it's great to see from the sidecars. The class is growing day by day, and yeah, we're in the second paddock at the moment. It's a tiny bit quieter, I think it's fair to say, but actually I see one of the riders just over by a tent actually in the paddock. You look like you're very relaxed.
Yeah.
And why don't you tell everyone at home, first of all, what your name is and what class you're racing in this round?
I'm Tyler Hartley and I'm racing at AC 40 Pros.
So Tyler, you're moving up to the pros this year from the rookies, so how's your season going so far?
All right, I'm 10th in the championship.
And what's it been like to race in the pros? Has it been, for example, moving up from rookies, how's the difference in level been?
For me it's not too hard, but for others it might be a big jump.
And riding in the class, what's it like here at Ellough Park to make overtakes? Is it a tough track? Because we've seen, for example, at circuits like at Red Lodge, you really have to commit early and make your overtakes almost in the braking zone. So what's it like here at Ellough Park?
It's really the same as Red Lodge. You have to get on the brakes really late to overtake people.
And this round, is this a track that you enjoy? What are you aiming to achieve this weekend?
Probably top 7.
And how are you going to get there? What do you think that you have to improve, obviously, with your riding style or with the bike setup at the moment?
probably gotten a throttle a bit earlier.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for this weekend, Tyler, and we hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Well, we can see plenty of riders, and Max Johnson actually at the other side of the road with one of the mini F1 sidecars. So Max is having a chat with his mates. So Max, racing in the rookies once again this year, how are you feeling?
Confident, my favourite track, so it should be good. Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of good things on social media from your racing account of constant development this year. So how's the rookies been to racing this year? Obviously it's not your first season in the rookie class, so what's the competitiveness of the championship like this year?
Well, it's quite a good battle in for first in the championship, but I should be quite good at this round because it's my favourite track, so yeah, see what I can do.
And we've seen in Friday practice, for example, that times in the AC40 rookie class are really, really close, probably the closest that we've seen it all season. Yeah. So how do you approach this round with it being so close?
Well, my bestest lap time was in qualifying 1 with a 58.8, which is past the lap record, because the other lap record was a 59.3. So yeah, looking forward to it. See what we can do.
And we've seen so far this year, Jensen Ansell, he's been at the front and he's been consistently getting race wins. So what do you think it's been in the opening 3 rounds that's separated, for example, yourself from Jensen Ansell?
Well, my aim's probably just to beat him, so see what we can do.
And how do you think that you're going to get there? What do you have to improve with yourself here at the first couple of rounds this year?
Well, because of how good it is, I think I've just got to follow his lines. So yeah, and see if I can beat him.
So is your aim this weekend just to beat Jensen Ansell? Is that your main focus?
I haven't got no aims or positions. I just want to enjoy it. Just want to finish the race. So yeah.
That's a great attitude to have, and we hope you enjoy this weekend.
Thank you.
Well, some of the planes over above, and well, Adam, before we get into racing here today, what are you hoping to see? What are we expecting to see?
Well, of course, just like Red Lodge, a lot of action, and I'm sure you're excited for that as well. I'm really excited to commentate over this. It's going to be frantic action throughout, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what these riders are doing. Are they developing as well as racing as well? So I think there's a lot to keep watch of as we head back to the commentary box.
Well, you join us now at the final qualifying sessions here at round 4 here at Ellough Park for the FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. My name is Lewis Ray, and alongside me for this weekend once again is Adam Reid. So Adam, how are you going into this weekend in a sunny Ellough Park?
Well, it has absolutely been beaming with sun, and I'm beaming in my smile. It's fantastic to be back here with FAB-Racing for qualifying, and as we now see, this is our mini MK Mini GP 50 class. They head out there for their second qualifying session, and it's been some great action so far. A few riders have been struggling to get to grips with this track, but a lot of riders also having a lot of fun, which is really pleasing to hear.
Yep, riders making their way on the circuit for qualifying 2, the final qualifying session for these guys. And of course, the combined qualifying session results will be their starting position for all 3 races this weekend. But you can see already a rider on the floor there, so very, very disappointing there for Wilson Dilks. He tries to pick up the bike, and of course these riders, these bikes are still tough to pick up for them, so he's managed to get it up and get it going again, so good on him. And there's Chloe Gleason as well that stopped slightly outside the track, but both of them get going again. The green flag is out, and then they can get underway. But hello and welcome if you're just joining us. You've joined us at the perfect time because you've not missed anything just yet. You currently join us during the qualifying 2 session for the Mini GP 50 class. There's 10 races coming up on today's schedule, 20 tomorrow as well, and of course this will be the 4th round of the championship, the 3rd weekend of the championship after a double header at the opening round at Lid. Means that we come once again to lovely track conditions, and so far this year we've been really, really lucky with the weather.
Oh yeah, there's definitely been what seems like great weather. I'm sure there will be a time where it does start maybe having a little bit of difficulties with the rain coming down, but it's been absolutely brilliant all the way through the season. Red Lodge wasn't too bad, even though there was a lot of cloud and it was quite cold, but yeah, there you can see a lot of sunshine here, going 48 miles northeast of our last round at Red Lodge, heading up here to Ellough Park.
Yep, Ellough Park is a lovely circuit once again. It's a technical circuit though once again, with a corner pretty much for every single ride. You can see here coming up a hairpin towards quite a normal left-hander, and then a long sweeping right-hander that you really need to get on the throttle to the start-finish line. The start-finish line here is actually really interesting for these riders, because the lights are controlled, of course, by the race officials, and the riders can see the race officials sometimes whenever they go to press the button. So this circuit in particular seems to be the circuit where we see the most jump starts happen, but you can see at the moment the riders trying to get through some traffic. There's Wilson Douts managed to pick up his bike and continue, and right now he's second in the session after a tip off right at the start. He's just trying to get through some traffic and trying to get some clear space, because we spoke to some riders earlier, as you have just seen on our broadcast, and quite a few of the riders mentioned how tricky this track is to overtake, especially on these bigger bikes in this tight and technical circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to really make that bold move. You have to know, you have to tell your opponent you're there, slip it up the inside, but make sure that move gets cleaned, or you probably will get penalised. But yeah, some of the AC40 rookies and pro, they're going to be a little bit easier. So you may be even seeing maybe 3 wide going in towards turn 1, which is going to be very intriguing to see. But these guys are going to be a bit more cautious. They don't want to be going 3 wide. They more want to be just making that dive, a nice clean dive bomb up the inside, nice and controlled. We now see Archie O'Brien heading into turn number 1.
Yep, there's currently 3 minutes left in this qualifying 2 session. Luke Fitchett is at the top with a 49.675 is the fastest lap of this session. Just behind, 7/10 behind, is Archie O'Brien, and Wilson Douts is in third. So a lot of riders in this class once again. 24 riders make up the grid for the 4th round of the championship, with riders constantly wanting to enter this class, and it's almost getting to the point where you're going to struggle to find bikes for it, because there's so many riders and so many young talents that want to step into this class, whether it be towards the end of the season to next season, that I think we're going to struggle at one point. But it's produced some great racing, some of the best racing that we see across all the weekend. So many different abilities, so many different skill levels, and so many different experience levels here. But that means no matter where you are in this field, you're going to have a group to have a battle with.
Yeah, absolutely. These bikes are absolutely amazing. I've only seen them from Red Lodge, but these look absolutely great, and I see why they're so appealing to our younger riders around the paddock. And they're such an eye-opener. You come here to a FAB-Racing paddock, and they'll be one of the bikes you'll be wanting to look and constantly be watching. It's from the timing screens to the designs on the bikes, and I see why this is a massive eye-opener.
Yeah, this class can be an eye-opener. Whenever they make the step up from the mini motos to the mini GP50 class, this is of course the majority of the time the first time these riders have had a geared motorcycle on, with it being a 2-stroke once again. It can be quite tricky to learn there, as Luke Fitchett trying to get past Annabelle McCarthy at the moment. But 1 minute and 46 seconds remain in this qualifying 2 session. There is Sam Gardner as well, as Luke Fitchett slips past. Just in front of him at the moment is Matthew Thomas. There is Archie O'Brien, our usual race winning contenders, back at it again. They've been looking incredibly strong this year, but incredibly strong in this session at the moment is Luke Fitchett. No improvers, no fastest lap improvers at the moment. There's been some personal bests from Archie O'Brien. A 49.985 currently is his fastest lap, set on the last lap, so we'll follow him towards the end of this lap. He comes round the hairpin as Chloe Gleeson just in front of him, of course, fellow Danny Webb GP camp rider as well. Danny Webb been doing a great job on giving these riders some extra training, some extra motivation and some extra help throughout the weekend. But that was not a better lap that time around. Stuck in some traffic, a 51 that time around there from Archie O'Brien. But fastest lap, a 49.6 from Luke Fitchett this session, with Archie O'Brien and Wilson Douts just behind, and of course Marco Holt in 4th. It's looking incredibly strong at the front.
Oh, absolutely. Luke is absolutely killing it out in front. Wilson Douts has put himself into 2nd place. I just saw Marco Holt go into 4th a couple moments ago. but some really strong riders in this field, and once again it's clear to see why these guys are up there with some of the best talent in British grassroots racing.
Yeah, and you can see there Archie O'Brien trying to get past Austin Johnson. Now, Austin Johnson had a slight tip-off in morning qualifying. He was limping away from that, but he looks to be okay, and he looks to be back on the motorcycle. And there, Archie O'Brien, he definitely looks okay around the circuit. He's looking confident already before we even get into the races. Of course, this is the last session before they head into the races, so this is going to be the session that matters as the checker flag is out for this final qualifying session. No real big improvers on the final couple laps. Wilson Doubts did set a personal best of a 49.9 on that final lap, but that was not enough to be able to match the likes of Luke Fitchett. Now 49.8 from him, but Marco Hull, he goes top, a 49.1 that time around. An incredible lap there, and Marco Hull 5/10 ahead of Luke Fitchett on that final lap. So clearly Marco Hull, he had some clear space or a nice marker in front of him to be able to catch up and get an amazing qualifying time, and that's what you want right at the end of a session, and being able to carry that confidence through into the races.
Absolutely, that lap was so crucial there for Marco Hull. He really needed that, and he managed to find some clear space where others couldn't, and that led to that P1 lap. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be pole position. We'll just have to wait, and we will confirm that later on when it comes to race 1. But Marco Hull putting that on pole position, P1 I should say, with Luke Fitcher there in P2 and Wilson and Dilks in P3, with Archie O'Brien in P4 and Frankie Watson rounding out the top 5. So some brilliant action there, but a lot of traffic to try challenge the riders here. It was very difficult to get through that. You just saw every single camera shot it showed. There was just so many riders there just making their way around the lap, trying to get the best possible place they could, try and find that free air, but they just couldn't find it. But Marco Holt could, and I'm pretty sure he was feeling quite strong around this circuit, he was saying.
Yeah, 24 riders, of course, in that field. So around this circuit, it's not a massive circuit. So you're obviously going to get some lap traffic. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle that during the race. Of course, with it just being qualifying, you don't mind as much. I mean, you would just sometimes throttle off, get past them, and then try and line up for your next lap and just have a little breather. But in the race, there's no breathers. It's a short race that we have here. It's just a sprint. It's all out, 110% all the time, as these guys have to also go 110% on the track, and they definitely do by watching them. They're so spectacular. Of course, the mini F1 sidecars.
Oh, absolutely. These sidecars are absolutely brilliant to see. Like I was explaining earlier, there's such a spectacle to see. There's something unique. They're I was going to say they're independent, but pretty much partnership. So it's really exciting to see these guys. And I heard a lot of comments that these things are really like eye-catching. There's some of the reasons why people want to enjoy bike racing more, and I understand why. They're brilliant to see.
Yeah, they certainly are, and a brilliant partnership for many years now has been Mick Williams and of course Michael Elms. They've been dominating at the front, but although there's been some domination, there's still been some great battles, and these great battles have allowed the likes of Jamie Alexandra to be able to make that step and make the step into becoming a new outfit and joining the sidecar Paddock. And it's great to see him there. Actually, is the 457 of Chris and Robert Impey. They have a new fairing on this weekend, an old fairing on, it looks like, on the motorcycle, not in the usual colour scheme, in the orange colour scheme, but they'll still probably be going as fast on it. But there is Mick Williams going as fast as ever, a 58.816 that time around, fastest lap of this qualifying session so far. But of course, still 5.5 minutes remain at the moment, so still the opening stages. But McWilliams, they've been incredibly strong. We spoke to McWilliams at the paddock, and he reckons the reason why he's been so dominant is just because of the fact that he's been doing it the longest. But certainly looking at these guys, it's almost like two riders in one. It's magical to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. They're so experienced at those two, Mick Williams and Michael Elms. They just make a great partnership. I'm guessing they have been friends for quite a long time. There's a reason why that chemistry is so strong, and it's really showing on the bike. But I'm not discounting the Green Street car, the number 90 of Jason and Leo Greenstreet, because they've been really strong, especially at Red Lodge, where they were showing a good amount of pace to try and stay with the legendary duo.
Yeah, the Green Streets this year, it looks like the closest that we've seen it in a long time for them to be able to battle. Of course, we've seen last year in the wet that they were able to take the race win away from Mick Williams last year at Clay Pigeon. But since then, there's been nothing of the sorts. But certainly at Red Lodge, it looked like they took that step to be able to close in the gap. And you can see the completely different styles of outfits. One thing I love about this class is that not every single outfit is the same. Everyone takes slightly different approaches. But actually, at the front right now, Mick Williams at the top with 57.132, an incredible lap time. But 7 tenths behind is Jason and Leo Greenstreet. So the Greenstreet's very close at the opening stages of this qualifying session.
Yeah, these are absolutely fantastic. We just watched that Green Street car making its way through there, but you can see the amount of leaning the rider on the back has to do, and the passenger there just making their way round the final corner and on towards the start finish line. Is it a best lap? It is a personal with a 57.850, so still 7 tenths off with Jason and Leo Greenstreet, but a decent lap nonetheless. But there's still a little bit more confidence, still a little bit more on the table there, and I'm sure they'll try and find that the best they can in the 3 minutes and 20 seconds they've got left to go of qualifying.
Yep, just 3 minutes to go and 3 minutes to try and battle Mick Williams at the top spot for the free races this weekend. Of course, this is round 4 of the FAB-Racing Middleweight British Championship. Hello and welcome if you're just joining us. You've not missed any racing just yet. We have a couple more qualifying sessions to go, 2 qualifying sessions after this before we get straight into the race, and it's going to be some great racing here today. Hopefully we can see some good racing in the sidecars, and currently actually further down the order, Mark Parker and Ems having a good session in 4th place ahead of Jamie Alexandra and Martin Hills, who are actually being very impressive right now. Their second meeting, I believe it is, in this class, and already fighting in the midfield battle. So Iona Glover as well, with Elliot Newton as her passenger. They're making their comeback. Well, Iona's making her comeback. Of course, she's had some issues with her injuries anyway that she got last year, for example at Wilton, where she had quite a smash, but she's came fighting back with some pace in 6th place at the moment. But a personal best once again from Jason and Leo Greenstreet, a 57.804 that time around on the 90 machine, and 6 tenths behind. That's not too far behind, and certainly if they can try and keep that gap in the race, they can certainly do the damage on the opening couple of laps. But 2 minutes remain in the last mini F1 sidecar qualifying session of the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just watching Jamie Alexander and Martin Hills there making their way through the next couple of corners, and they're actually going to beat their best qualifying position. Is at the moment P9, but at the moment it looks to be moving that down to P5. So great stuff there from those two. Only 7 sidecars out at the moment, but hopefully we'll be getting a few more maybe at the next round of the championship.
Yeah, the class is constantly growing, and confidence is constantly growing on the Green Street outfit. Do they have something special this weekend? We're going to have to wait and find out. Is there going to be something special this time around? Because last time around, the 57.413, that is just 2 tenths away from it, Williams. Will they be able to do it? They come around the back section of the circuit and they build up the speed down the back straight. It's a very short run into the hairpin, and then get the head almost scraping off the ground there from Leo Greenstreet, and then power out through, and then to the left, get as close to the ground as you dare, as close to the tyre wall as you dare. To the right, they power out through. Is it going to battle Mick Williams' lap time? We'll wait and see, and no, it doesn't. A 57.5 that time around. They have a little bit of traffic in front of them of Jamie Alexandra. Will it help Jamie Alexandra? Of course, having someone like the Green Streets to follow in your final lap in qualifying has got to be something special.
Oh, absolutely. For the talent that Jason and Leo Greenstreet are, they're definitely worth trying to follow him, but that seems to be the issue. Can they even keep up with the second place riders there? But that sidecar of the number 90 is looking really quick. There was a little bit of a twitch there out of the last corner, so maybe cost them a couple tenths or 2, but this sidecar is looking incredibly incredibly strong, and they keep pounding and pounding in the laps, and this is what they exactly need. Mick Williams is still at the top by just under 3/10 of a second, but this is going to be the last lap. It looks like the checkered flag is about to wave. I'm just seeing out of my commentary box, but through this last corner, can Jason and Leo Greentree do anything at the final line? We're looking up, and it's not anything. It's actually slower, 58.1. So maybe they just used up their tyres. The energy's starting to go, and but it's going to be second place for Jason and Leo Greentree. But it looks to be a 10th pole position for Mick Williams and Michael Ellough this season. Incredible. Already into double digits for those legendary duo.
Yep, an incredible pole position once again. But Mick Williams, they definitely have a challenge on their hand this weekend. In the qualifying 2 session there, just 2/10 separated the top 2 outfits. So Mick Williams versus the Green Streets. What's going to happen? Well, we're going to have to wait and find out later on. But of course, here at FAB, the event running flawlessly once again. Riders are already waiting to go out in the holding area. That's what we see time and time again. But hello and welcome if you're joining us. You've not missed anything just yet. We're still in our qualifying sessions at the moment here at round 4 at Ellough Park for the FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. Like and share and let us know down below on who you're supporting, who you're wanting to win in what class this weekend. There's a lot of entries, a lot of depth to the field, and certainly the Pit Bike 140s, once again a massive field, massive amount of talent in it, and it's a class that constantly keeps growing and constantly keeps getting impressive numbers up. And there's Zach Tureen, we spoke to him earlier on. There's Lucas Brown with Reese Peacock as well, and Chris Wells, Reese Peacock, Taylor Lawrence as well has made some appearances this year. They've all been duking out on track, and it's been very, very impressive to see. We've seen plenty of last lap battles, and that's exactly what we expect from the Pit Bike 140s.
Oh yeah, absolutely. These Pit Bike 140s are a great class, but at the moment they're all just exploring the track once again. As we see 142 heading out onto the circuit. That is, I'm not entirely sure, that's Matthew Lindsay at the moment heading round at the circuit. But welcome to the Pit Bike 140 class. And it's fantastic to have viewers watching our streams. It's incredible seeing the numbers going up at the moment. I keep seeing them going up and up, and it's incredible to see that people actually tune in to bike racing around little kart circuits. It's so entertaining, I must tell you, for that for a fact.
So now we await and see what's going to happen in this final qualifying session. Some familiar faces aren't racing this round, of course. No Taylor Lawrence, as he has retired once again from Pit Bike 140 racing. There's no local man, Jamie King, this round either. So Jamie, hello and welcome. If you're listening at home, we hope to see you back next round. Of course, this being Jamie's local track, it's been a track which he's loved for many years. But there is Bradley Ferreira stopped at turn 1, checking down at his motorcycle, potentially something wrong, potentially something hanging out, or maybe a little carb issue. But yeah, he's just trying to get kick-started at the moment. Can he get it done? A lot of compression there, but no, it's maybe a retirement, or maybe just trying to get back to the pit at this rate. But there's Chris Wells and Zach Tureen battling out in this qualifying 2 session like it's a race.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Really unfortunate there for Bradley Ferreira. That would be really unfortunate. He'd be wanting to get that track time for the final part of qualifying, but unfortunately it's not going to happen right there. But Chris Wells just leading Zach Torian, and Chris Wells currently leading the championship at the moment, 70 points actually over Lucas Brown. But it is Lucas Brown at the top of the standing for now, but it's still early on. 4 minutes and 40 sessions to go, so it does really go quick. A 50.6 there for the number 7 of Lucas Brown. Can Chris Wells do anything? He's 1.3 seconds behind, but again, like I said, early stages. But here comes Chris Wells around that final corner. Can he do anything on that lap? And it seemed to be a personal best there of a 50.9. So now down to 0.3 of a second. So he's still got a little bit on the table, but the track is still starting to improve, and they've really got to dial in, get tyres dialed in, get themselves dialed in, get themselves into the zone, and then they can really get those laps put in, and hopefully we'll see a really good pole sitter, whoever that may be.
Yeah, Lucas Brown, incredibly strong at the moment, the top of the timesheets in this session, but Lucas Brown's been incredibly strong, not only here at FAB, but of course in the British Talent Cup. And that's one thing we've seen with many FAB-Racing riders, is that more and more of them are heading off to a British Championship, and more of them are heading off to the RNG British Talent Cup. And that's because we are a part of the road to MotoGP, of course. But Lucas Brown, he's been fighting for race wins this year in the British Talent Cup, and he's been very strong for a couple of years now. Who knows what the future holds for him? There is Bailey Lawrence coming through the final corner to power it towards the line. Can she improve on her lap time? And she does. She goes into 7th. So Bailey Lawrence right now having an incredible session. There is Shannon King as well, and the 55 machine of Josh Basante following behind. So yeah, a massive field, massive amount of talent, as I said earlier, and the track condition and the weather especially is only heating up.
Oh, absolutely. The track temperature is definitely getting warmer, and there's someone into the pit lane. That looks like the number 29, Reese Peacock.
That's Lucas Brown heading into the pit lane there. Of course, using his British Talent Cup levers on his on here at FAB. But yeah, Lucas Brown incredibly strong, heading into the pit lane, potentially just for a little discussion. But of course, he might have to head back out now, as Chris Wells has just taken over at top spot by 73 thousandths of a second. So incredibly close at the front, and that's what we expect to see in this class. It's FAB-Racing in the pit bike 140 class.
Oh, absolutely. We're just having a look now out of our commentary position. They're still just pounding around. It's incredible to see the sounds as well from our commentary position. They just keep pounding your ears, and it's fantastic to see. We just pick up one of our riders heading now down at the back straight in towards the hairpin. And it's such a short straight, like you said. It feels like a really long straight when you look at it, but then when you're riding around the circuit, it's actually quite short. You have to hang on to the anchors, but across the line, I think that's Chris Wells doing another lap, but it's not quite his best. A 50.1 that time compared to his best, which is a 50.5.
Yeah, Chris Wells looking incredibly strong, but Lucas Brown, he's headed out back onto the circuit for another run and another fight, potentially just wanting to see where he was in the qualifying session at the moment and to know how hard he has to push. But currently Chris Wells, 73 thousandths of a second. Currently though, the only rider that has improved recently has been Reese Peacock near the front. Reese Peacock into 4th place at the moment. A 51.326 is his fastest time, but it's just 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in this qualifying 2 session for the pit bike 140 class.
So it looks like Chris Wells will be on top in P1 at the moment, but can Lucas Brown do anything? If there is an issue, there's a loss of power maybe, that will be really unfortunate. It does seem like he's a little bit slow at the moment. He's 9/10 of a second off last time out with a 51.4, so not too promising, but it might be just a slight loss of power, but we'll have to see what happens. Maybe you just saw Chris Wells on top and then had to head back out to see if he could try and put anything into that bike. Nonetheless, Liam Wood actually at the moment in P3. Reese Peacock in P4 to put in a personal best of a 50.9. That's to put him. That's pretty much to secure him 4th place at the moment. Just having a look at the time. Yeah, the top 4 are pretty much close at the moment. They're all separated by less than half a second. So it's Chris Wells, Lucas Brown, Liam Wood, Reese Peacock. We just pick up one of our riders, making their way through the penultimate corner and swinging it around is Reese Peacock. And Lucas Brown now, forget about the problems. He's gone top with a 50.5, a thousandth of a second, I believe. It's apparently, according to our timing screens, it's a thousandth of a second, but I'm not entirely... yeah, it is, sorry, my mistake. It is a thousandth of a second, so I just had to double check the time screen. The checker flag is now out, and it's going to be Lucas Brown there putting it into P1, but can Chris Wells do anything to retaliate from that? I'm not entirely sure if he is aware of Lucas Brown's lap there. We could just continue to make our way across the circuit with our cameras, but it doesn't seem like anything can be done. So a fantastic lap there by Lucas Brown there in the number 7 machine, and he'll be hoping to make up Chris Wells' championship of lead to try and bite into it throughout the weekend.
Yeah, what is going to happen? You can never write the Pit Bike 140 class. It is such such a tricky class to guess who's going to win, because every single weekend it seems like we have a different winner, and certainly anyway there's always 5 or 6 riders that compete at the front. Although, for example, in 5th position Zatorine is in 1.3 seconds behind. Once a race starts, once you have someone to follow, once you're in a pack with Slipstream, it's very, very tricky to break away, and that's what we've seen time and time again, as now the riders head back into the paddock to end their qualifying session. The next time that they will be out is their race, the first races of the weekend. We're going to have 10 races coming up on today's schedule, so hello and welcome. If you're just joining us, you've joined us at the perfect time, to be honest, because one last qualifying session remains, and that is the LS2 Helmets Mini GP70 British Championship, and then after that we will get straight into racing and straight into the action. And you can already see just behind our lovely sponsors here at FAB, all the riders making up the holding area right now, going to the holding area, warming up their bikes before they head out onto the circuit for the final qualifying 2 session of the weekend.
Yeah, so it seems like the Mini GP70 class will be going out in just a moment, but we now wait for the final bikes to just come in. We've got somebody out on track at the moment, just trying to find a safe spot to pull off. But we had speaking of the Mini GP70 class, we had a dramatic time last time out at Red Lodge. So should we talk about that, Lewis?
So of course race 1 was the main talking point for this class last time out, and that was of course with a multiple bike pile-up that happened on the closing stages of the race, and it all unfolded after some water from Luke Fitcher's bike got on his back tyre and also got into the circuit, and it caused some other riders to crash, such as Archie O'Brien, Wilson Douts and Harry Payne were the 4 riders involved. So yeah, everyone okay from that one, but Luke Fitcher, basically his top end gasket on his motorcycle, they basically tried to run it really thin, which it allows the bike to get more compression and allows the bike to make slightly more power. Totally allowed to do, but it also means that the gasket can somewhat be a bit more unreliable, and the gasket just gave way, and sadly it put some water on his rear tyre. But now Luke Fitcher is back, and he's back looking stronger than ever. He was able to make it out for the Sunday's run-in, and he was able to definitely take it to the pack and then fight for race wins once again. So Luke Fitcher has been very, very impressive. They've managed to buy a new bike for this round. The other bike is here as well, I believe, but he's tested both of them and he prefers the one he's on now. It's a brand new motorcycle. Theoretically, it's the exact same bike as what he's been racing all year, but he says it turns a little bit better and it's nicer to ride. So that looks like it's going to be the bike that he's going to be racing for the rest of the season. He was faster on this motorcycle in practice on the new bike. So yeah, let's wait and see what's going to happen. Of course, steep competition in this class with Archie O'Brien and Marco Holt as well. So once again, with a big field here, 10 bikes make up the field, and there's so much talent in it.
Oh, absolutely. Like we were talking about this earlier, there's so much talent, and especially in this selective field. We've only got 11 riders for the 70 class, but they are a talented bunch of young riders that should go to the top, to the very, very top. So at the moment we're just currently following, it looks like, I wonder who that is. Can you tell us, Lewis?
Yeah, currently going around the track is Henry McCartney. So Henry McCartney, a brand new colour scheme for him this round, brand new levers, brand new paint job, and same helmet at least. But Henry McCartney, he's definitely woke up with the right attitude, because he's been fastest in this session, a 48.527 this time around in the qualifying 2 sessions. So incredible lap times there from him on the opening stages of qualifying. The lap record around here is a 47.326. So still a little bit off that now, but of course lap records need to be done first of all in the races, and second of all it's only the opening stages of qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. The track, once again, all these riders still have to get dialed in, warm up the tyres, and I'm sure that they will be posting some absolutely stonking lap time. We just continue to follow these riders. They make their way now round the penultimate corner and on towards the final the timing line. We should be seeing a couple of times being put in. Do we see any timing? There you go, Wilson Dilk now to the top of the standings in that number 85 machine. Not sure if there was any improvements there. Ollie Sims just going up to P9 there, so he's now starting to get dialed in, but following now Bill Harris, making his way now through this sweeping section, then keeping it to that left-hand side before diving it into the right, using a little bit of the banking there before going down the hill, a little bit of a dip there, and it's this sharp chicane. You have to try and straight line that, which is quite difficult, but into the towards the hairpin we go, get that bike down and into the next corner, the penultimate corner, get it right down, and then through this long sweeping right-hander and on towards the line. Where is he going to go? Up to 6th place, the personal best there of 49.3 for Bill Harris. Fantastic stuff there so far.
Yeah, fantastic stuff, and fantastic stuff from Marco Holt, who's now at the top of the session at 48 flat. So Marco, incredibly strong. But Wilson Dilks, he'll know exactly what position he's in at the moment because he has a pit board on the opposite side of the track. So the back straight, just coming out the final chicane, Wilson Dilks has a pit board that his parents are kindly putting out for him. So he'll know exactly what position he's in, how far he is off pole, and how hard he has to push on these closing 2 minutes that we have left. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remain, and there is Henry McCartney diving up the inside of Harry Payne, trying to keep with the likes of Blake Wilson. Blake Wilson, he's been really strong this year. Probably the dark horse heading into the season. He's been springing up surprising results round out, and Henry McCartney, once again, he missed the Saturday of last round due to the fact he was at a wedding, but he managed to make it for the Sunday and managed to be near the front. So Henry McCartney, although he missed that round last time out because he was at a wedding, he has a bit of track time to make up, but that won't bother him at all because these guys are so mature for their age.
Oh, absolutely. He's already got 2 podiums this season, which is absolutely fantastic. 2 third places, and I'm sure he will want to add another one to his collection, maybe even 3 if he has the confidence and the pace in that bike to prove it. But Henry McCartney currently running in P5, half a second off P1 Marco Holt, but just following now this rider through that final corner. I'm just trying to wonder who that is.
Yeah, Wilson Dilks.
Wilson Dilks, thank you very much, Lewis. But he's just gone up to P3. Henry McCartney to the top of the standings now, 47.9. So he's really showing that pace, and just shy of just under 400ths of a second, but Marco Holt steals it back. So Marco really on the chart now. Our current record pole sitter is Archie O'Brien. He's got 3 pole positions in this class. He's currently running down in 3rd place, just over 0.3 of a second, and Archie O'Brien really has to put the hammer down if he wants to get that P1 off Marco Holt, and hopefully put it on the front row for his fourth pole position of the season. Just following the number 8 of Blake Wilson, making his way through the final corner, and I'm not sure there was an improvement there, but Wilson Dilks has just gone up to P2 there, so splitting both Marco and Henry.
Yeah, so now just 33 seconds remain in this final qualifying session of the weekend, the final qualifying session for the Ellough Helmets Mini GP70 British Championship. Marco Holt is on top by 0.2 of a second from Blake Wilson, but there is Marco Holt that has fallen at the backside of the circuit. So he's straight on his feet, though. That is the main thing. The bike is off the circuit as well, already in the grass. He'll pick that up and hopefully he'll be able to ride it back to the pits, but he was up on his feet. And Marco, a disappointing end to his qualifying session, but I don't think he'll mind too much considering he's at the top of the timesheet. Hopefully, though, no damage has been done. And yeah, a broken screen, it looks like maybe a bent handlebar as well. But all in all, not too bad there from Marco Holt. Not too much damage anyway, by the seams of things.
Oh, that's not too great to see a broken front there and a broken handlebar. That'll be pretty costly, I'm sure. But hopefully he won't be too frustrated. Hopefully that won't knock his confidence. Currently P1 at the top of the checkered flag now flies. Not too many times being put that fast at the moment. So Ollie Sims has gone and done a puzzle best. That's only fastest for 10th place. But it will be Marco Holt in P1, however, albeit a broken bike at the cost. But hopefully he'll be able to get that fixed before the final race of the day at around 4:45, a rough roundabout. Then he's getting a pickup from Ollie Simsey there. So lovely friendship between the two.
Yeah, it's great to see Ollie Sims. He's been having his own issues so far this weekend. He's been having issues with the fueling of the bike. The bike's bogging down quite a lot on him and even cutting out. So some carburetor and some jetting issues there from him on his Mini GP72 stroke. But it looks like it's all sorted in this session. I mean, he is 10th position, but he's constantly getting his lap time down. And I think that's a very, very good lap time, 49.724, considering he's had missing sessions anyway. He's only been able to complete a handful of laps in sessions. But that was the final qualifying session of the weekend before we get into the races. The first race of the weekend for the AC40 Pros are coming up. It's been an exciting day so far with the AC40 Pros already having completed their qualifying and already having completed many, many laps in practice. So these riders ready to race and these riders ready to battle on a hot and sunny Ellough Park circuit.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. These little bikes, as I said, they can go 3 wide through a few corners, but I'm sure there'll be some absolute carnage in this race. We saw Taylor Tomlinson and Sam Gardner come into collide at Red Lodge last time, as we see our wonderful volunteers heading out onto the circuit to of course, keep those little riders safe.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, marshals, of course, volunteering the services here, but a lot of the parents as well, being Roman marshals around this circuit, they'll be wearing the normal high vis, but of course, in this race, there'll be no warm-up lap, and it will be a very, very exciting race with Taylor Thompson on pole position. Rex Austin will join him on the front row of the grid. Preston Baker will start in third with Nicholas Dunwoody alongside him in fourth. Sebastian Kasowski and Logan Cousins will be in the third row with Tyler Hartley in seventh and Seth Hayward in eighth. Liam Lindquist and Oliver Hall is on the fifth row of our grid with Bradley Curtis and Archie Hooper rounding out the field in a thrilling opening race of the weekend that is just seconds away from getting underway for the AC40 Pros.
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking really, really exciting. The tension is starting to build here. We just see our riders making their final adjustments here and getting ready. A few pep talks being delivered by some of the parents, and I'm sure they will be starting to get race ready before the lights come on, and then they will go out. But Lewis, what do you expect heading into this first race of the weekend?
I'm expecting to see Taylor Thompson try his best to try and escape the pack because it's so difficult to do, but everyone else is going to want to stop it. The other 11 riders are going to want to chase this man down and stop his dominance in this class. Taylor Thompson is looking strong this year, but we're at a different circuit this time out, so anything can happen. That is Nicholas Dunwoody as well, having some issues there on the grid, but he's managed to get the bike going again. Sitting on it again, final pep talk done, and now we are ready to go racing for race 1 of the AC40 Pros here at Ellough Park. Final checks are being done. The grid is getting cleared. Then the revs will rise and we will go racing. The point to the lights is done. And then the lights will come on. The lights will go off and we will go racing for race 1 of the AC40 Pro class. It's Taylor Thompson who gets a cracking start and is in the race lead still. But Preston Baker in second place at the moment. A great start there from Preston Baker. And then just behind you have some great battles there. Every single rider once again has got away very clean from the opening couple of corners. That's what we love to see. But there's Logan Cousins in fourth place at the moment. Sebastian Kasowski dropping down the field. There's Bradley Curtis having to set up the bike. He's lost quite a lot of positions there on the infield section of the circuit. He's went right to the back of the field, but he's managed to make it one place there. Liam Lindquist made a clean start as well for him. Liam Lindquist having a great season so far, constantly building his confidence, but now onto the back straight towards the hairpin, hard on the brakes and tipping it in as close to the curb as what he can possibly get. Logan Cousins right now having his own battle further down the field. Will he be able to make his way up the field though, overtaking around the circuit? It's so tricky. Oliver Hall down in 12th at the moment, but at the line it's Taylor Thompson who leads by 1.2 seconds from Preston Baker. Rex Austin dropped from second to third, and now he's already getting some pressure from the likes of Logan Cousins, who's already getting pressure from just behind in Seth Hayward. So very clean opening lap and a very impressive ride and from all these riders.
Oh, absolutely. It's been fantastic. It's been clean and nice, but I'm sure we'll be seeing those battles coming onto our screen in just a moment. They just need to get that final bit of confidence before going on the attack. They head through the back section here towards this tricky chicane. And some four-way battle there. I think it's a bit of a wide moment from one of our riders heading towards this next sequence of corner. But in towards the hairpin we go. Not entirely sure who that is. Just behind Logan Cousins. I said Haywood. Just having a look at the number 7 of Logan Cousins. They make their way now round that long right-hander and just having a look at where they can go. Can they go on the outside here, round turn 1? And here he goes, Seth Haywood. Having a look here. Haywood he just had a bit of a moment there on the bike. Having a look there on that left-hand side, trying round the outside once again. He loves that line, trying the outside, but it's not going to work this time around on the number 7 of Logan Cousins. Cousins defending that like it's easy stuff to him, like it's second nature. I think there's a battle behind here between Sebastian Gaslowski and Dunwoody. So a few more riders put each other under the pressure against Seth
Hayward down. Seth Hayward down on the deck. He'll be disappointed with that one. Straight up on his feet. His bike flew over the tyre walls and that front end is completely destroyed. The fairing's completely destroyed. The handlebars are bent. They're trying to get the handlebars back into place, checking that he is okay. He just, at that point where you're picking up the throttle, the front end starts to go light and he just lost the front end. It got too light and down he went. We've seen different lines throughout turn 1, throughout turn 3, trying to find something different, trying to find a way past, like Sebastian Gaslowski is trying to do on Logan Cousins. So now Gaslowski managing to get his way into 4th place. So very, very impressive battle. It was a 4-way battle, now it's a 3-way battle. What is going to happen in this race? It's a thrilling start. And of course the yellow flag still being out.
Oh, absolutely. A great fight there between Cousins, Gaslowski, and maybe Dunwoody can try and get involved here. They make their way now into this chicane we go. It's a hairpin into a chicane. So it's quite a weird complex there. But the second, of course, into the second chicane. And we're just continuing to follow with Dunwoody and Cousins. So it looks like Dunwoody's... it seems like... Cousins is trying to fall it back into the clutches of Dunwoody.
Yeah, so currently Taylor Tomlinson on that last lap, he lost 2 positions and he's having to make up all the ground that he's lost. So he's either made a mistake, made a crash, or ran wide. So Taylor Tomlinson, he dropped down to 3rd at the line last time around. There he is on the back of Rex Austin. That is the battle for 2nd place. In the lead is now Preston Baker. So Preston Baker on the 93 machine, currently leaded by 2 seconds from Rex Austin and Taylor Tomlinson. So Taylor Tomlinson, he's going to have to find a way through. I've seen in the back of the picture a very, very stressed Luke Allen, who's been helping Taylor Tomlinson out this year, helping Taylor Tomlinson progress in his racing career. He's had a busy year so far, has Taylor Tomlinson, racing in 3 classes at most of the rounds. But Rex Austin, he's going to love this one if he can manage to hold off the championship leader. I mean, heading into this one, it was Taylor Tomlinson who led by 67 points. But currently in this race, it's 4 laps remaining as Taylor Tomlinson having a moment there on the bumps. It's quite a bumpy turn 1, and last time around they caught Preston Baker by 7/10 of a second. So Rex Austin, he's trying his best to keep Tomlinson behind.
Oh, absolutely. Some great battles there. Tomlinson just doing whatever he can. He's having a look there to that left-hand side. He seems to be using a lot more of the curb around that hairpin. I think that might be helping him, but he still can't find a way through. He's just going to have to etch into that gap. He looks like he's having a look on the inside here, just trying to put Austin under a bit of pressure here. They head down towards the hairpin. We go as late on the brakes, and Preston Baker, I'm sure he's going to be completely unaware of this. He's going to be relaxing out there in front, but the job's not done just yet. Baker still has a lead to protect, and Tomlinson is seriously on the attack here. He's going to have a look to that left-hand side, not trying out the outside. A little bit of a bump there into turn 1, and they're making their way now into the next corner. Can Tomlinson have a look there on the left-hand side? But no. Rex Austin defending that absolutely fantastically. Taylor Tomlinson, however, putting in the fastest lap, so maybe that's going to boost his confidence a bit. He's trying now on the inside, having a look to that outside. He loves just moving his way to the left, to the right, to see what he can do. Having a look here on the inside, but no can do.
Yeah, as a rider of the bike in front, you'll be able to hear him in there. You'll be able to see him as Taylor Tomlinson makes the move into 2nd place. And now he's got one thing in sight, and that is Preston Baker. Oh, Taylor Tomlinson down at the final corner. He lost the front on the brakes, dragging the brakes, trail braking too late, and down he goes. So Taylor Thompson pushing too hard. Once again, he drops down the order, and now that race win is going to seem near impossible, but can he do anything special with just 2 laps remaining? Can we see Rex Austin, Rockstar Rex Austin, try and take a race win here in the AC40 Pro class? What's going to happen? We're going to have a duel with just 2 laps remaining.
It does seem like Preston Baker's got a little bit of advantage. He's still 4/10 compared to Rex Austin's fastest lap, but I'm sure Rex Austin is going to go all out on these last couple of laps, making their way now in towards this hairpin chicane sequence and on towards the hairpin, and he seems to shorten that gap now, just seeing whatever he can do. You can hear the parents now getting really excited, trying to encourage their kids to try their absolute hardest, try and get that win. They're heading now in towards turn 1. It looks like the final lap of this race. This is going down to the wire.
Going down to the wire, less than 1 lap remaining. Will it be Baker? Will it be Austin? Let's find out. It's Preston Baker versus Rex Austin on the final lap of the opening race of the weekend for the AC40 Pro class. Rex Austin is trying everything. The bike is moving about underneath him, on the brakes, on the throttle, over the curb. He's doing everything he can, but now Preston Baker, he's looking strong, he's looking calm, he doesn't look worried or stressed, or he doesn't look like he's riding tight at all. He's taking his own line, he's taking the racing line, and he's about to take the race when he can hold on for 3 more corners. He goes round the hairpin. This is where we've seen Taylor Thompson fall. They go to the left and then to the right with 1 more corner to go. It looks like it's going to be Preston Baker who wins the opening race of the weekend for the AC40 Pros. Preston Baker is your race winner. Rex Austin heroically comes behind less than 2/10 of a second behind. Taylor Thompson still clinches a podium in 3rd place after having 2 mistakes that time around. Sebastian Gosowski comes home in 3rd and Logan Cousins in 5th. But wow, what a race we had there. The championship leader having some issues and some drama for himself.
Wow, that was incredible, but Tomlinson, he will be kicking himself after that. We see our top 3, Preston Baker with his first win of the season in the AC40 Pro class. Rex Austin picking up yet another podium, but I'm sure Taylor Tomlinson, he won't like to see his picture down in 3rd place. He will want to be in the middle, and I'm sure he'll try and amend that for next time. But Sebastian Gaslowski putting it into P4 there ahead of Logan Cousins, with Nicholas Dunwoody, Liam Lindquist, Tyler Hartley, Bradley Curtis and Oliver Hall rounding out the top 10.
A great battle there in the AC40 Pro class. Preston Baker taking the race win in a fine fashion, but now the riders make their way back into the pit lane. Of course, they'll have 2 more races later on this weekend, but we await to see what is going to happen later on. Can Preston Baker do it again? Now we have the opening race of the weekend for the AC40 rookie class. It's going to be a great one because we have 21 riders in this field this weekend. It's a grid that is always full. It's always full of young riders wanting to make the start of their racing career. 21 riders make their way towards the grid. These riders will have a warm-up lap this time around, as of course they're slightly less experienced compared to some of the other riders. But Adam, what are you expecting to see this time around here at Ellough Park?
Well, same as last time in the AC40 Pro class, a lot of carnage. There, especially with more bikes, there's a lot more possibility of going side by side. These riders will want to really go at it with the confidence that they have. But yeah, I'm really expecting a few of these riders to really do the business. Jason Ansell is a really standout rider. He put in the lap record last time out at Red Lodge, so he's definitely one to watch going into this race. Is there anyone else going into this race that is under your ones to watch list?
Yeah, certainly the top 4 riders seem to be the ones to watch this time around. It seems to be the closest field that we've had in the AC40 rookie class all year. Kai Hawken will start in pole position. His qualifying time was under the lap record, and actually, in fact, the top 4 riders, unofficially I should say, were under the lap record in qualifying. Of course, for it to be a lap record, it needs to be done during the race, so I'm sure that we'll see it happen this time around, because these 4 riders are going to want to battle for the race. I'm going to want to take that lap record, but it's very windy today. The wind's been around 12 to 13 miles per hour, but it's still warm. It's 22 degrees down here at Suffolk, and it's definitely going to be a cracker here. These riders, though, it's going to be warm inside these helmets and levers as the final checks are being done.
Oh, absolutely. This is absolutely one to watch as the riders make their final pep talks, and then we'll get everyone to clear the grid. But yeah, turn 1, I'm looking at turn 1 right now, and there's going to be a few riders going through there side by side, trying to get as many positions as they can. But this is going to be the first of 3 incredible races, and we get the final man off the grid. Yep. We are going to be having a warm-up lap, and but that is a slow start there for Jensen Ansell. But we're all away for the warm-up lap.
Yeah, so the AC40 Rookies being the only class that gets a warm-up lap here today, but Kai Hawken will be on pole position with Jensen Ansell alongside him in the front row of the grid. Caelan Ratcliffe and Max Johnson will start on the second row, with Mason Frederick and Jensen Cedras in 5th and 6th. Henry Brodie and Arthur Rich starts in 7th and 8th, with James Rich and Nelly Nuth in 9th and 10th for the 5th row of the grid, with Daniel Longhurst, Matthew Jennings, Tommy Williams, Freddie Taylor on the 6th and the 7th row of the grid, with Tyler Scrialdi in 15th, with Austin Dilts in 16th, Ethan Bayliss in 17th, Oliver Wilson in 18th, James Dermont in 19th, Emerson Oakley in 20th, and Daisy Polden should be starting in 21st, but her mum and dad were getting married yesterday, so whether she'll be on the grid or not, we await to see. But now the riders heading back to the grid for the start of a thrilling first race of the weekend for the AC40 Rookies.
Oh, absolutely. This is one to, as I said, one to look forward to. They all roll up to the grid now. And again, those final pep talks, they still need to get those little pep talks in there. And it seems to be, I'm getting something in my ear that we're getting a restart.
So now the riders getting the bikes restarted after slightly stopping on the grid anyway, but it looks like Jensen Ansell's managed to get restarted at the back of the field. Actually, there is Daisy Polden, so she's managed to make the race start. That's great for her, but here we go. We await to see what's going to happen. The riders will wait to see the lights turn on, and then the lights will turn off and we'll go race. And it looks like Kai Hawken, he tried to go way too early, but he stopped before the lights went out. And in the lead is Max Johnson from Caelan Ratcliffe, Jensen Ansell in 3rd place at the moment. So already these riders expand out across the whole length and the whole width of the circuit. But Max Johnson, he's fending off everyone behind. He said he felt confident going into the weekend. He said he felt he could take it to the championship leader. Jensen Ansell has just been overtaken by Caelan Ratcliffe, but now under him once again. So Ansell is still in 2nd place.
Whoa.
Oh, and there's a rider down in the middle of the pack there. So Arthur Rich managed to get that bike picked up, but yeah, crashed there in the middle of the circuit. But at the front, it's going to be Max Johnson who leads the way towards the back section of the track, and then towards the hairpin they will go. So a very, very tight field, the tightest we've seen it all year, and very, very impressive from all these riders. It's been so impressive to see the way that they have been racing, the way they've been developing in their racing skills, racecraft mainly, as there is once again, oh, we can see the bike chattering underneath from Caelan Ratcliffe. The bike was protesting every way possible, but he still put it, and he still kept it on 2 wheels as Jensen Ansell gets overtaken. So currently the race lead, the podium positions, is Max Johnson leading by 6/10 of a second from Jensen Ansell and Caelan Ratcliffe, which is just switched around. So Caelan Ratcliffe is in 2nd and Jensen Ansell is in 3rd.
Oh, fantastic start there from Max Johnson. From 4th on the grid, he's managed to power his way into the lead. Jensen Ansell is going to go and try and nab that lead off him. They make their way now in towards this tricky hairpin chicane section, and we're just seeing another rider down here, and who's that, Lewis?
Yeah, Mason Frederick having a crash there further down in the field on the number 5 machine. He's trying to get that restarted. He actually has some ears on top of his helmet. That is certainly different. That's quite funny, to be honest, but he's hopefully can get that bike restarted. He's looking quite frustrated with the amount of time it's taken this mini moto to get started again. So yeah, they're trying to pull start it, but it's not wanting to start at all. Of course, it has just been on its deck though, and there is Max Johnson still in the race lead from Caelan Ratcliffe. But Caelan Ratcliffe, he's definitely took that gap down. He's definitely bridged that gap, and now it looks like a battle is on for the race lead with 6 laps remaining in the opening race of the weekend for the AC40 rookies.
Oh, absolutely. Caelan Ratcliffe just set the fastest lap of a 58.1. That'll be really crucial going into that, unless another rider down. So who's that, though? That looks like...
Yeah, so there is Rich down once again. So yeah, he crashed on the opening lap of the race, and he's managed to get it going again, but then he's managed to crash again. So yeah, it looks to be okay though. He's managed to remount. It's great to see from him. But there is the pole position man, Kai Hawken, 5th place at the moment, fighting with Jensen Sidecars. What is going to happen between these two riders, and will it end with everything being clean? But the lap record heading into the weekend was a 59.3 set in 2020 by Finlay Pawhill. Now it's a 58.1 from Caelan Ratcliffe. So the lap record has tumbled by 1.2 seconds this weekend.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. Probably the track conditions being at peak performance. We're just continuing to watch Max Johnson making his way now through this sweeping section. He's not got a lot of a gap there to Caelan Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe doing whatever he can to try and put that 141 under a bit of pressure in toward there. But we go in another rider down. Who is that? Not entirely sure.
Yes, that's 51 machine on deck of Tommy Williams in 10th place. He was sitting in, and now it's all ended in disaster, but he sits up on the tyre wall for a moment as Kai Hawken still chasing that 4th place. He was starting on pole position with a time of a 58.5. They're going 4 tenths faster than qualifying right now. The pace at the front is incredible, but Max Johnson right now, he's under a lot of pressure. They're now alongside each other. It's going to be Caelan Ratcliffe, who looks at the inside, has to back out a bit, and now they're coming towards the number 5 machine, the back marker at the moment of Mason Frederick after his fall earlier on. Max Johnson there getting slightly held up, it looks like, on the braking, but I'm sure they'll all get past cleanly and safely. That's what we've seen in the rookies class. He gets out the way, he runs slightly wide there, so that should help the likes of Max Johnson and Caelan Ratcliffe. Ooh. Oh, Max Johnson there held up. Max Johnson looking down the inside. There is Jensen Ansell managing to get into 2nd place from that as Caelan Ratcliffe drops down to 3rd. So Max Johnson, although he got held up initially, he's managed to keep a comfortable gap going out of it. Jensen Ansell though, he ran wide at the hairpin. So much speed trying to get carried through that front tyre. He's so lucky to stay on there. But currently, this time at the line with 3 laps to go now, it's Max Johnson, Caelan Ratcliffe and Jensen Ansell fighting for the podium.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. The traffic really getting involved. We said this at Red Lodge, and we'll say it again. The traffic is really starting to get involved in the lead battle, and someone's on over.
Oh, that's Max Johnson. Max Johnson has fallen to the deck. He runs to the bike as fast as he possibly can to get it restarted. He was in the race lead by 2 tenths of a second, and now he's down in the dirt. He managed to get restarted, and where will he drop to? We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and find out next time at the line. Will he still be in the points? Who knows? But this means Caelan Ratcliffe will be in the race lead on the 96 machine. The black and yellow machine leads the way.
Absolutely, really unfortunate there for Max Johnson. He'll be absolutely fuming with himself, but it's going to be Caelan Ratcliffe still leading this race. And we see a Wyman there from one of our riders. They make their way now through and across the line we go, and I believe it's going to be Caelan Ratcliffe there at the top ahead of Jensen Ansell, and Kai Hawkins managed to get ahead of Jason Sidras. So Hawkins now on for a podium. They make their way now down towards this next corner. I believe that is that's a 96 of Caelan Ratcliffe, so just confirming to myself. But Ratcliffe is seeming to be at a comfortable margin there. He's got it away there from Jensen Ansell, who got stuck there behind some traffic. So Ansell's not going to be too happy about that, but he seems to be clear now of the traffic on the screen. But so Ansell's now got to go after Ratcliffe, but I don't think he has enough laps in him. It's only 2 laps to go, maybe now a lap and a half. but Ratcliffe seems to be really comfortable out on top, but he's still got the job to be done. The race is not done until the checker flag is out.
Yeah, it's certainly not done. 4/10 of a gap between Ratcliffe and Ansel. Ansel leading the championship heading into this round by an enormous 61 points, and currently his lead is getting eaten into ever so slightly. So Caolan Ratcliffe leading the way. 1 lap remaining, 1 lap to manoeuvre around this Ellough Park circuit to take the race win off Jensen Ansel, off Max Johnson. Max Johnson, after that crash, dropping down to 5th place. But Caolan Ratcliffe, what a ride it's been from him. The pace at the front this race from all the top 5 riders has been something incredible. It's been great to see everyone fighting through. But Caolan Ratcliffe, there's the race leader from Jensen Ansel. Kai Hawken rounding out our podium position currently in this final lap, with Jensen Cedras, Max Johnson after his crash in 5th, and James Rich in 6th place. But now on the final sector of the circuit, he comes down to the hairpin, pushes on that front tyre, tips it in, powers it out through, flips it to the left hand side of the tyre, and then towards the long sweeping right before the start finish line. It's going to be Caolan Ratcliffe who takes the race win and takes his his first race win of the season. So what a ride that was there from Caolan Ratcliffe. 1.1 seconds at line, even extended it on that final lap, and now it looks like, certainly here at Ellough Park, Jensen Ansel is going to have a fight on his hands.
Oh, absolutely. Ansel now still with a 100% podium record, but he will be frustrated not to get that win. But there you go, Caolan Ratcliffe in the middle there of your screen. He's your brand new winner in the AC40 rookies class. Jensen Ansel will be P2 with Kai Hawken, who had an absolute nightmare of a start according to him. He has managed to climb and claw back to 3rd place. So a good amount of points there for Hawken. Sidecars will be in P4 with James Rich managing to get into P5 with Henry Brody. Max Johnson finishing is still out there at the moment. It looks like Matthew Jennings finishing in 9th there. And there you go, Max Johnson just coming up on our timer screen, classified in 8th. He's not going to be too happy about that. But Nelly Newth finishing in P9 and Freddie Taylor rounding out the top 10. What a race that was.
Yeah, AC40 rookies delivers once again. Drama all the way to the line. Max Johnson dropping down to 8th on that after his bike stopped on the final corner and he had to get restarted once again, so he lost another couple of positions. But still, 2 more races to come from the AC40 rookies class, and it looks like we're going to see even more of that, even more of the drama, even more of the action, with the top 5 or 6 riders looking like they can win it. Coming up now is the senior mini moto class. It is a great class to race in. It's a class which is constantly expanding. It's little bikes, big riders. It's something which you don't see that often, and although it's something very, very unusual to see, it still produces great and close racing at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Close racing. We love that here at FAB-Racing and pretty much anywhere, but we'll be getting that all here at FAB-Racing. There is not a single boring race, I'd say, ever. We will get some that are a bit more, how do I put this? They're a bit more, you get those riders that streak out in front, but there's still a bit of action there in the mid-pack, but I can assure you it would not going to be like this in these senior mini motors. What are you expecting here today, Lewis?
Yeah, we're going to expect to see much of the same with all these riders battling throughout the field, and we're going to see the likes of Mr. Minimoto, Bernie Hook, making his racing return. Of course, former champion in the senior Minimoto class, one of the best senior Minimoto riders which we've seen in a long time. He makes his return to FAB-Racing this weekend. He also will be competing in the motor team class, but Bernie Hook, very, very impressive to see. He will not be scoring championship points, though, so he'll not be getting in the way of anyone's championship positions. But on this track, of course, no warm-up lap this time around, so it's going to be the likes of Josh Birkin in pole position, which is going to be great in this amazing 14 bike field.
Absolutely. So they all now roll up to the grid. We now go through. It's going to be Josh Birking for his second pole position of the season, with Reece Gentry in that number 100. He's lining up on the front row of the grid. Will Harris will be in P3. He'll be sharing a row with Bernie Hook. Andy Whedon is going to be in P5 ahead of Lamar Morgan, and David Mayat with Nick Bennett in P7 and 8. The fifth row of the grid will be Callum White, and Elliot Sell will be rounding out to the top 10 with Ross Michael in P11, Gary Eldridge in P12, and rounding out the grid will be Isaac Greenstreet and Rob Gentry. So it seems like one of the Gentrys at the back of the field, one of the Gentrys at the front row of the field.
Yep, Gentry, sandwich row in this race, but also the Birkins being incredibly strong. Will Howarth incredibly strong this time around as well. So what is going to happen in this field? The point to the light has already been made. The lights are already on, and the lights go off and we go racing. What's going to happen here? Josh Birkin currently leads the way by an inch over Will Howarth, who slots into second place. Reece Gentry currently in third, so a clean get away from all these guys. Nick Bennett further back in the field, but Josh Birkin leading the way. So Birkin leading the way in the senior mini moto class. It's not something that unusual, but they always produce spectacular racing. They're always spectacular on the motorcycles. Lamar Morgan also there further down the field. So Lamar Morgan, a good start in 6th place at the moment. Of course, second year at FAB for Lamar Morgan, and already fighting near the front. But Reece Gentry still in second place. He got pipped by Will Howarth at the line. He's not going to be happy about that on the number 100. He's going to want to get his own back. Of course, a lot of these guys, they're friends off the circuit. Almost all the grid, they're friends off the circuit, but rivals on the track. You can just see how big they are for these motorcycles and how small this track is. Making overtaking very, very tricky. You have to almost do a block pass to be able to get past on these things. So yeah, there's Will Howarth, 96, leading in his way and his group from Reece Gentry in third. So right now the order: Josh Birkin leading by 7/10 of a second from Will Howarth and Reece Gentry in third. And I believe that is Bernie Hook on the 75 machine, and he is in 4th place at the moment behind Reece Gentry at the line last time around, 7/10 away from Reece Gentry. So Mr. Minimoto, Bernie Hook, we said it on the comms last year, it'd be great to see you back, and it is great to see him back on the circuit. He went into retirement, he's came back and already fighting at the front.
Oh, that's brilliant there from Bernie. What seems to be a great return, but he's trying his best there to hold on to 4th place at the moment. Hopefully he can be challenging that podium place. It would be amazing to see Bernie back on the podium, but we approach now turn 1 with Josh Birkin. Will Howarth taking the fastest lap, but he's not done. He's got Reece Gentry under pressure there, just trying to see what he can do. Reece Gentry there with the 100 on his back. They're making their way now through this sweeping section and into the little king we go before going hard on the brakes, having a look around the outside. Can he do a switchback here? Reece Gentry, you've got to make sure to get that bike stable before heading into that left-hander. Is he going to keep tight? Is he going to keep tight? He's going to keep that left-hander before Will Howarth then goes and blocks him off. But in towards this hairpin chicane section we go of the track, and then toward that back hairpin, and now it seems like Gentry's having a look there, but it's nothing there from Reece Gentry. It's going to switch back in down the inside. Go Reece Gentry, fantastic move there for 2nd place. They head now towards the line. Can Will Howarth do anything? Is he going to try up the inside and retaliate? You know, he's just going to hold back for now, but a fantastic move there from Reece Gentry, and the fastest lap of the race to go with it.
Yep, fastest lap of the race with a 53.464. That time around, 4/10 off the lap record. There is Nick Bennett chasing his best in the 711 machine from David Mayat. So a great battle they're having right now. That is currently for 7th position. So what's going to happen with these two riders? Battles all the way down the field with everyone. Just 14 riders make up the grid. But if you're watching this at home and think this looks like a lot of fun, head over to the FAB-Racing website or contact any one of these riders on the senior mini moto grid if it's this class specifically, because everyone is wanting more riders to join. Everyone is welcome to help. Everyone wants to help to get bigger fields, more battles, and some new faces in the paddock, because this paddock is like one big family, and that's what we love here at Fab. With just 5 laps remaining in this race, a 53.1 that time around from Rhys Gentry, 1/10 off the lap record, is getting close. And there is the Bernie Hook, there's the Mr. Minimoto fighting for 4th, and actually Andy Whedon is just behind him 5th. So a great battle between these two riders.
Oh, absolutely. It seems to be absolutely fantastic here. Bernie Hook's just doing whatever he can to just fend off that number 7 of Andy Whedon, making their way through. And also Andy Whedon is another returnee to the FAB-Racing, so it's fantastic to see both of these returnees to get into an ever-growing series of grassroots bike racing. They head now into all the hairpin we go, and just keep picking up with Bernie Hook. But that battle with 4th still continuing between the two returnees, but it looks like Josh Birkin's down. I think that is Josh Birkin. Josh Birkin down from the lead of the race. That's handed the lead now to Rhys Gentry, just trying to get that restarted. And has he got it restarted? It looks like he has. He is underway now, but he's joining very, very far down the grid. It seems like into 9th place. So unfortunate there for Josh Birkin.
Yeah, that will promote Rhys Gentry into the race lead. So Rhys Gentry into the race lead on the number 100 machine, the orange and black machine with the orange and black levers from Rhys Gentry. But Will Howarth 7/10 of a second behind. And Bernie Hook currently in the podium position, and currently Andy Whedon just behind. I think both of these riders would be delighted to get the podium on their FAB-Racing return in the senior mini moto class. But there is Rhys Gentry, and Will Howarth is just behind 3/10 of a second behind these guys. So Rhys Gentry, he'll love to take his first race win of the season on the number 100 machine, and currently he has the fastest lap of the race, so it's proven that he has had the pace all race around, but now he has to defend from Will Howarth.
Oh, absolutely. So Gentry's still got a bit of pressure there behind him from Howarth. Howarth will be looking at trying to nip down the inside, or maybe try and off-put Gentry, but heading through that number 100 is still just out in front at the moment, just keeping nice and cool here. But Howarth is absolutely going to be all over, and can he have a go into the hairpin? No, he can't, but the traffic is starting to come into play here. We're just seeing one of the riders moving out the way there of this lead battle. They don't want to be the one to ruin it for the leader, and but there you go, once again Gentry making his way past the number 92 there of Isaac Greenstreet, and Will Howarth will now just follow, and then that's I think that's Gary Eldridge. That's Rhys Gentry just continuing to keep it in the lead here. But 2 laps to go here. Can Howarth do anything on that black 96 bike? He's still just challenging Gentry, but time is running out.
Yep, time is running out, and actually it was Rob Gentry that was allowing Rhys through at this part of the track 1 lap ago. So pretty nice from his dad to let him through, to let him try and take this race win. This is his opportunity. He's got to grasp it now. And Will Howarth, though, he's not going to make it easy for him. Will Howarth, all year, we've seen strong, consistent rides from him. Even last year, strong, consistent rides. He had an injury at the second round of the championship last year, but now they come over the line to start the last lap of the race. It's 1/10 of a second between Rhys Gentry and Will Howarth. They're going to go at it on the final lap, and they're going to go at it corner by corner. There is Will Howarth diving down the inside, mid-corner. Wow, but now Rhys Gentry, he's trying to get good drive. He's trying to stay wider line, get more drive onto the straight part of the circuit. That is a wide line there from Will Howarth. He's got it back on the tarmac now, though, but Rhys Gentry, half a lap remaining. He's got to do something soon. He's got to do something now. He looks down the inside, backs out of it. Will it go down to the hairpin? Will it go down to the heavy braking zone? He's trying to defend the inside line, and he's done it perfectly. Will Howarth, 2 corners remaining. It's going to go down to the final corner. Oh, Rhys Gentry down there, clipped the back wheel of Will Howarth. It was front wheel versus back wheel. It's usually the back wheel that wins, and right now it's Will Howarth who wins the race, and Will Howarth takes the race win on the 96 machine. He takes the race win by quite a distance after Rhys Gentry's fall. So Rhys Gentry, he will not be happy about that one, but that does promote Bernie Hook into second place. So Bernie Hook, an incredible result there from him, but there is Rhys Gentry. He'll be feeling that one. Went over the top of that bike after it clipped the back wheel of Will Harris. He was trying everything there. Also, you could see Nick Bennett kneeling by the side of his bike as well. So some mechanicals, some crashes, but plenty of drama in the opening senior mini moto race.
Oh my goodness me, I couldn't believe it. I was looking outside the commentary window here. I just saw him have a nip down the inside, and I couldn't believe it when that last move came in. But unfortunately it didn't work out there for Rhys Gentry, and he'll be so disappointed in that. He wheels his way back to the side of the road. But incredible there from Bernie Hook to take P2 in his first race back from FAB, which was pretty much his retirement. But Will Howard taking his 4th win of the season there. Fantastic from all the riders. The senior mini motors. The senior mini motors proving to really show today, and even Ellough Park delivering yet another race. But catch them. We'll be catching these guys tomorrow. So 2 more races left to go here on Saturday's coverage of round 4 of the FAB-Racing Championship from Ellough Park. And it's going to be the LC40 Elite happening this time around. So
coming up now is the LC40 Elite class for the first race of the weekend. For these guys, they're going to be very, very strong, and this year so far we've seen some great action from this class. We've seen some competitive action as well. We've seen many riders battle for the race wins, many riders battle for the podiums, but quite a few mechanicals, of course, in this class. It's the liquid cooled class in the Minimotos, but you can still run your air cooled machine in it. Therefore, we see quite a mix of riders, quite a mix of bikes as well, and quite a mix in straight line performance, which means the likes of Lewis Hull, for example, needs to push a lot on the air cooled machine because he doesn't have the straight line speed due to his height and due to his bike with it being on the air cooled. So he has to push so much in the corners, and he's pushing so much on the bike that it can cause things to break. But there is Josh Day, very, very happy today. He's running across the track. He's in a great mood, a cracking mood. We spoke to him earlier on, and basically everything's mint in his words. So yeah, he's very, very happy. Of course, Harrison Day racing in the LC40 Elites, and a great class we have here. 15 riders in the LC40 Elite class. It's the biggest grid that we've had for quite a while in the LC40 Elites. This year we've always had great grid sizes for them, which has been great to see. But in pole position is going to be Harrison Day for this weekend, with Byron Johnson alongside him on the 37 machine. But Harrison Day, he's going to be hoping to capitalise on his first pole position of the year. Taylor Thompson and Lewis Hull are on the second row of the grid, with Preston Baker and Rex Austin in 5th and 6th. Nicholas Dunwoody will be starting in 7th, with Matthew Thomas in 8th. Ollie Sims will start in 9th, with Oliver Hall alongside him on the 5th row of the grid. Sebastian Kosowski and Bradley Curtis makes up the 6th row of our grid, with Liam Lindquist and Logan Cousins in 13th and 14th, with Archie Hooper rounding out an impressive and great depth to the LC40 Elite field.
Yeah, it's incredible seeing an increased field. We love seeing these fields, but we now look to the light this to the point, and we get the 5 red lights on, and we go racing here at Ellough Park. It was a bad start there from Taylor Thompson. He had a bit of a jump there, but he's going to be starting to fall down the field. But I think that's the lead kept there for Harrison Day. They're now heading towards the next corners, and it's still going to be Harrison Day up front, but I think that's Byron Johnson just pushing him in behind. He's managed to take into behind. And there you go. We're just hearing in my ear Taylor Tomlinson has got a 3-second time penalty for that jump start. I thought I saw something on that screen, and unfortunately it was a jump start for our number 77. So he's going to be receiving that at the end of the race, but it's still Harrison Day out in front, but he's got pressure in behind there from Byron Johnson. We were speaking to Josh Day before the race, and he was saying that Harrison really wanted a podium in this round, and I'm hoping that he can go one step better for the days. But in towards that first corner, we just continue to follow the field, and it's still Harrison Day doing an absolutely incredible job and a fastest lap so far to go with it.
Yeah, but Harrison Day in the race lead from Byron Johnson. 4/10 of a second was the gap at the line last time around. But there's Preston Baker finding his way past Lewis Hull, and there is Taylor Thompson and Matthew Thomas also trying to find their way past Lewis Hull. So Lewis Hull struggling in the early stages. It's almost a train behind him, and there's Matthew Thomas down the inside of him. So Matthew Thomas, he's someone else that's got past Lewis Hull. So Lewis Hull, he's going to have to push on, one of our taller riders that we have in the LC40 Elite class, and he's having to push as hard as he can. I believe that bike is on its limit, the engine is on its limit, and there's Bradley Curtis diving down the inside. So Bradley Curtis, wow, what a performance that is in the opening couple of laps. Up into 5th position at the moment from Bradley Curtis, making the way through the field as there's Ollie Sims as well, taking a wider line out the final corner. Sebastian Kozlowski further down in the field, so Bradley Curtis in 6th as Taylor Thompson starting to look behind him because he knows Matthew Thomas is there.
Oh, that was very, very close there from Matthew Thomas, just trying to pressure Taylor Tomlinson. Tomlinson won't be aware of that jump penalty unless he is aware that he has it in his mind that he knew he did it by accident. But there you go, looking down the inside, and Matthew Thomas done the same move there he did a lap ago, and Thomas now is up another place.
I think this race is going to get really interesting because Byron Johnson still in 2nd place. He led the championship by 102 points heading into this round. So with it being round 4, effectively halfway point of the season, what is going to happen? How's he going to think this race out? Is he going to hold back a little, just get the points home, or is he going to push on that 0.8 of a second gap and try and take the race win? Because Harrison Day, he still leads. Preston Baker, there he is in the podium position, but Matthew Thomas and Taylor Thompson are starting to bridge in. Matthew Thomas, he has the pace here. He's extended the gap already on Taylor Tomlinson.
But you were saying about Byron Johnson, he's a rider. He's going to go for that win. There's no doubt he's going to try and chip into the gap of Harrison Day as we pick up the number 15 of Day, making their way through the hairpin chicane sequence, and on toward the hairpin we go. And Johnson will be doing whatever he can to try and nibble into that lead, but they're still separated by a good couple of seconds to head through the penultimate corner. Oh, I thought it was a bit of a moment there for Harrison Day as he makes his way now around that final corner, and we're looking at the timing screen, still 0.8 of a second separating Harrison Day, who just gone and set the fast lap of the race with a 53.0, and Byron Johnson, who's still, as I said, 0.8 back.
Yeah, the lap times between the top two last time around is about 40 thousandths of a second between them, so they're very, very similar pace. Harrison Day, he's got no one to follow, making this even more impressive. The fact he's got clear track in front of him and he's still able to do this pace, while Byron Johnson, he does have a marker, but we've seen Byron Johnson time and time again without a marker managing to dominate. So what is going to happen in the closing stages? Who knows? Byron Johnson might have the better late race pace. Will Harrison Day know that he's there, because he's trying his best to see who is where on this circuit, especially going around that hairpin. He always looks to the right, but is Byron Johnson a little bit too close so he can't see? But we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen. 4 laps remaining in this race. It's going to be a close one, and at the line last time around, 0.7 of a second. It's went down by 1/10. It's closing, and Byron Johnson taking the fastest lap of the race with 52.8, the first rider to break into the 52s this race in the LC40 Elites. Archie Gibbs holds the race lap record with a 51.882 set in 2021. So Archie Gibbs, that was a great lap there. It still stands now, but the rider's getting closer and closer in this race one. And there is Taylor Tomlinson still having to defend off from the likes of Preston Baker.
Oh, he will be disappointed that he's down there in 5th, but as I said, the championship leader Byron Johnson doing what he can to try and take yet another race win. At the moment, it will lose that 100% race winning streak, but looking back here with Taylor Tomlinson, still with that 3-second time penalty, still pressuring, I believe that's Matthew Thomas, just correcting myself, but into the braking zone of turn number 1. Taylor Tomlinson just doing what he can. Is he going to have a look there on the right hand side? No, just going to back off. It's not the best move to be making, not the smartest move. He can make it later on. There's still a bit of time there. 3 laps to go left in this race. To head now towards one of the tightest hairpins on this circuit. Tomlinson doing what he can and through the sweeper, but he's still not close enough to overtake Matthew Thomas for that podium place.
3 laps remaining in this race. They go over the slight rise here on the braking zone, and there is Matthew Thomas leading the way from Taylor Thompson. That is the battle for the final podium place, and here is a massive group of riders. Bradley Curtis at the front of this field, so Bradley Curtis trying his best to defend. Ollie Sims also in that field as well, so 6th position, that battle is for. Can he hold on? Overhauling there too, Sebastian Kosowski, Nicholas Dunwoody and Liam Lindquist all battling for what is 6th place. So what's going to happen? Who's going to get it, and who is going to get the all-important point scoring position in the championships? There's Oliver Hall going down the inside. Is this also going to open the door for Ollie Sims? We're going to have to wait and see, as Harrison Day, 2 laps to go, he's still looking so comfortable.
Oh, absolutely. There's still a job to do, though. A lap and a half to go for Harrison Day, and he's doing the Day family proud. But through the hairpin we go, and into another hairpin, a sequence of hairpins through that and round that final corner. He's now got 1 lap to go. There's a flag just hanging off. What does that mean, Lewis? Haven't seen that before.
Yeah, so any new viewers, that is the yellow flag for Black Cross. That means it's the final lap of the race. So informing the riders, this is their final time round. This is their final chances to make any moves or any lap times that they have to make, and this will tell Harrison Day he's 1 lap away from victories. 1 second of a gap between himself and Byron Johnson at the moment, but now they come round half a lap to go for Harrison Day. It's been an incredible comeback. The comeback kid, he's been through a lot. He's had injuries last season. He's bounced back though, and now with 3 corners remaining, he looks to win the first race of the weekend here at Ellough Park. Harrison Day, he's going to get his first race win of the season. 1 more corner to go. Harrison Day, well, it's all about him today. He takes the race win by 1.3 seconds from Byron Johnson. An incredible race, an incredible result. Look how much that means to him. Look how much it's going to mean to the Day family. It's certainly going to make their day, mind the pun, as Matthew Thomas also comes home in 3rd. Taylor Tomlinson comes home in 5th. With Preston Baker running out the top 5, and there is Sebastian Kosowski taking what is going to be 7th place as Oliver Hall managed to bridge away from that gap, as there's Lewis Hall all the way down the order in 12th. But Harrison Day, he takes the race win for Byron Johnson and Matthew Thomas. What an incredible race that was there from the LC40 Elites.
Oh, absolutely pure incredible from Harrison Day, and he really deserved that, especially with everything, like you said, he's gone through. And I'm sure he'll be so. Look at him just bobbing about in the paddock. He's so it's absolutely amazing scenes there. First win of the season as well. It's going to be so special.
Yeah, but look, Fitchett also coming to congratulate. Taylor Thomason also coming to congratulate. Matthew Thomas also coming to congratulate. And one of the Day family members also taking photos of this moment. But still, 2 races to come later on today. But what an incredible race that was there from the LC4 Elites. So great to see Harrison Day get that race when he's been through quite a lot with injuries. He injured his arm last year in the 2nd round of the championship, and he's managed to rebuild his confidence to be able to get a race win.
Absolutely brilliant there from Harrison Day. But we've not got many races left today. We got a couple of races. How many races left?
Yeah, we've just got 6 races left here today. But hello and welcome if you're just joining us for today's action. You've not missed too much, but of course you will be able to catch up on all of it later on playback. But it's great for you to join us. Hello and welcome. Let us know down below on who you are supporting this round and who you are watching for at home. We've seen some great races so far, and still some great races to come later on today. But yeah, the LC40 Elites having a great race there. Harrison Day, 1.3 seconds at the line. But get in touch down in the comment spots below. Let us know who you're supporting. Let us know where you're watching from as well, most importantly, because we do know lots of these family members can't make it to the circuit and at the race event, so they'll be watching all around the country, and some even all around the world whenever they're away on the holidays, certainly at this time of year as well.
It's absolutely incredible to hear that some family members take actual time to watch these incredible races that are happening in the UK, supporting their young children or adults, as we're about to see the Extreme 200s just about to take place. It looks like they're heading off the line just now. And that is the race start. They head now towards this next couple of corners. I'm not entirely sure. I think that's Sullivan Mounsey out in the lead at the moment, followed by Richard Holmes Williams. They make their way now through the hairpin we go. We're just having a look here at the commentary box. And Sullivan Mounsey just continuing to lead the way ahead of Richard Holmes Williams. And I'm not entirely sure who that is third, but a brilliant start there.
Oh, Sullivan's gone down. Sullivan's crashed in the back section of the circuit. He's back on his feet already, though. So Sullivan Mounsey managing to get straight back on his feet. They're pushing too hard in the braking zone. It slid away from him and then into the tyre wall he goes. So disappointing there from him. Richard Holmes Williams, though, he'll not be disappointed at the moment. He's in first place with Blake Wilson in second now, and then actually in third it's Bailey Stewart Campbell. So Bailey Stewart Campbell in third place. So great result there from him. He's on his way back and on his racing return, of course, racing in the British Talent Cup not too long ago, but here he is back racing here at FAB. The yellow flag waves for a stricken Sullivan Mounsey, who is still pushing his bike off the circuit at the moment. It looks like it's stuck in gear, and potentially even the way that fell and flipped over, the clutch lever may be broken, so he's struggling to get that bike off the circuit. No one to help him just yet, but Richard Holmes Williams leads the way from Blake Wilson, and Bailey Stewart Campbell in third. In fourth position, Charlie Hunt in third, another one of the British Talent Cup riders, ahead of Luca Allen, and not too far ahead though. Zach Tureen just behind as well. In sixth, Ollie Sims also on his Mini GP 70, so two Mini GP 70s racing in the Extreme 200 class. Blake Wilson and Ollie Sims will be racing in two classes on the same bike. But Sullivan Mounsey, he's finally managed to get that bike in neutral, and he's finally pushing that bike off all into pit lane. But yellow flag still waves this time around, and will be the final time around for these riders, as now the green flag waves to let racing commence in all sectors of the circuit. But at the front, Richard Holmes Williams, he's starting to get closed in by a young and hungry Blake Wilson.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Really unfortunate there from Sullivan Mounsey to go over on the fast lap. He was looking so promising, but across the line now we go with Richard Holmes Williams leading the way ahead of Blake Wilson at number 8, looking very hungry for that win. But looks like Blake Wilson now just trying to see what he can do. They make their way now in toward the hairpin. He's going to have a look here at the inside. No, he just decides to back off out of that move, and then through this long left sweeper. It looks Blake Wilson will be eyeing up his chances now. There's not many places you can overtake on these on this circuit. It's definitely maybe some of the hairpins and definitely pressurizing into a mistake is one of the opportunities, but Richard Holmes Williams really doing the job well. Bailey Stewart Campbell still running in third place, and he's still running with that podium place on his belt. But Blake Wilson will be doing whatever he can to try and hunt down Richard Holmes Williams and get that overtake done. He set that fastest lap, which is going to be crucial.
Yeah, he set that fastest lap, and he's putting on the pressure. Less than 2/10 of a second of a gap. Two completely different motorcycles, two completely different generations. That's what we love about the Extreme 200 class. They can all battle at the front competitively together, although these bikes are so different. It's KTM 85cc pit bike style Supermoto versus the Metro Kit Grand Prix style conventional motorcycle, really, of Blake Wilson. So yeah, different strengths, of course, different braking power, different power on the straight lines, but of course still competitive race. It's been nothing at the line. Last time at the line it was 0.131 a second. Now it's 86 thousandths of a second as Blake Wilson, he does the doctor's dangle. He looks down the inside, he sets up the right mid corner, he tries to get the power on into this tight turn 2. He cannot make it work though. Bailey Stewart Campbell still in third. Quite a gap though between them. It doesn't look like Bailey Stewart Campbell is going to be able to do anything less if these two riders collide or any mechanical issues. Then Bailey Stewart Campbell still there to be able to pick up the pieces.
Absolutely, this battle is probably going to go all the way to the line. We've seen it time and time again here in FAB-Racing. These battles go all the way to the line, and there are overtakes for the lead. But even if Richard Holmes Williams does manage to just keep himself in front, it will be a solid defensive effort. But look at Blake Wilson. He's all over. He's looking for that opportunity. Into the slipstream we go. He's having a look here at that inside, and can he go down the inside? He's made that move, and no, he's just going to get cut off. The door slammed shut in his face, but he's still there on that right-hand side there, and he's got the lead here, and he's gone on the inside. But look at Holmes Williams. He's cut back here, and he's got that lead again. What can Wilson do here? He's having a look on that inside, but he's just going to think better of it, and through this sweeping left-hander, Wilson doing whatever he can to just make that move and hope that Richard Holmes Williams, but the intelligence of Richard Holmes Williams is absolutely on the show and present. He's really made that move. He knew the circuit by the back of his hand, and I'm sure it's really showing on screen right now.
A great battle forming. 5 laps remaining at the line this time around. It's going to be Blake Wilson who looks up the inside once again at turn 1. Is he trying to make a move there, or is he just testing if he can make a move there for later on in the race? He's going to be using as much of his head as he can. It's so difficult to think at his high speed, in this high drama, in this high tense situation. There's a lot of stress involved for Richard Holmes Williams. He'll know, he'll be able to hear the bike of Blake Wilson behind, going from left to right side of him and trying to make a move at every single possibility. You can just see a slightly tighter line actually from Richard Holmes Williams, potentially a bit defensive. Blake Wilson, he looks down the inside, backs out of it though. That was not going to work because it closes up so quickly there. This is where it might work though. Heading into turn 1, they come round the final corner, they power it through the straight. 4 laps remaining. Will he make it work this time around? Blake Wilson, he looks once again, but he backs out of it before they tip in. So great battle forming once again further down the field. Charlie Huntingford and Luca Allen still battling. 2.5 now separates them though, but Luca Allen and Zach Tureen further down the field. 1/10 of a second separating them. There is that battle there. Luca Allen, he's still managing to hold off from Zach Tureen. Very bright levers for both of them actually, but Luke Allen's been having a learning year this year in the British GP2 Championship at the British Superbikes. He'll be at Knockhill next weekend in sunny Scotland, where it looks like conditions are meant to be much like this. And there is a stricken rider on the outside of the circuit. It looks like Charlie Huntingford at the side of the circuit. So Charlie Huntingford looks to be walking away, so that's not what he'll be wanting at all. He's managed to remount on that bike though in the background there, as that's Charlie Huntingford. Very disappointed there from him. He was running in 4th, but where that bike's positioning, considering it was lying outside, I would say he's crashed that one. He's tucked the front on the exit of the corner once he's got on the throttle, but battle of the front still as strong as ever. 51 thousandths of a second separating the top 2.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like Holmes Williams still keeping ahead, as he always does, but Blake Wilson still just thinking about what he can do. Do you think there's a bit of fatigue starting to get into the minds of these riders? I mean, it's so hot out here, and especially with all the leather and the helmet, they must be starting to sweat like mad under those helmets, but I'm sure they've got they've got to keep that full concentration and spot those moves whenever they can. And speaking of making a move, look how Blake Wilson was eyeing up a move there, but for Holmes Williams just shut that completely, and in toward the hairpin they go. Holmes Williams on the brake they go. Blake Wilson just following in behind, and it's incredible, like you said, these 2 generations of bikes. It's really great to see, but Blake Wilson still eyeing that move, but Holmes Williams, that defence is absolutely maestro worthy.
Yeah, he's managing to hold on to it so far, but as you mentioned, conditions very hot. They'll be sweating underneath their helmets. Sometimes a bit of sweat can run into your eyes, it starts stinging, but you're on the motorcycle racing, you have to power through it. And now they have to power through one final lap of the race. It's Richard Holmes Williams versus Blake Wilson. It's KTM 85cc versus Metric Mini GP70. Who's going to win? Who's going to make a move? Will Blake Wilson try and make a move, or will Richard Holmes Williams crack under the pressure? Half a lap remaining. It's the 126 versus the 8 machine. Bailey Stewart Campbell still in that third place, and he's been having a great ride on his race and return. But now, heading into the final sector is the race leader, Richard Holmes-Williams. Looks like he has a comfortable gap for this hairpin. You can hear the screens supporting these two riders, and now to the left, to the right, it's been a drag race to the line. Richard Holmes-Williams looks to take the race win in the Extreme 200 class, race 1. Once again, great performance from him. Blake Wilson comes home in second. Blake Wilson, he's happy with that one. He couldn't make a move stick though in the closing stages. Just look at Alan and Zach Tureen battling for fourth place. Look at Alan, just manages to pip him with Ollie Sims behind them two there. So Richard Holmes-Williams winning 3/10 of a second at the line. What a great result that was there as we wait for the final couple of riders to make their way across the checkered flag.
Oh, absolutely there. Richard Holmes-Williams putting an absolutely stonking performance to take his second win of the Extreme 200 class. And what a way to do it, defending there from Blake Wilson. And I'm glad that he's happy with himself. He really deserved that second place, but also you could argue he deserved that first place. But the incredible defence and the knowledge that Holmes-Williams was bringing to his ride, it was absolutely fantastic to see and really deserved.
A great race there, and if you want to watch any races back and want to catch up on any of the action, you can head over to the Motorsport Radio YouTube channel and the FAB-Racing YouTube channel to be able to watch all the races back in full. But of course, still 2 races to come up for the Extreme 200s. Coming up next is race 1 for the Moto Team class. It's a race which has great racing every single weekend. Mixed riders, mixed abilities, and mixed classes. 2 classes in the Moto Team race. There's the standard and the open class. The standard class, as you would expect, is pretty standard. You're not allowed to do too much to the engine, and it's basically a road bike with some race fairings slapped onto it, or just the headlights removed in some people's cases. The open class, it allows more tuning to the engines to be done. You're allowed to enter the 50cc 2-strokes, and you're allowed to have such competitive racing even though there's 2 classes. There'll be no warm-up lap this time around for the Moto Team grid, where Will Howarth starts in pole position with Team Acne alongside him. Team Pinky in the Brain and Team Italia starts on the second row of the grid with Team Dis and Scott Jewett in 5th and 6th. Team Ernie the Badger and Keats Racing starts in 7th and 8th, and Bernie Hook starts in 9th in the Moto Team class. So a great race. This is going to turn out to be what is going to happen. It's a very hot day. These riders running old Moto-free scrubs, slick tyres for them, so they are going to have to get the heat into them as the lights go on. The heat on the grid starts to rise, and now we go racing. It's a light to turn 1, and this Will Howarth who leads the way going into turn 1. Team Anthony Racing is in second place, so Will Howarth leading the way on the 96 machine. What a great start that was there from him. A lightning start, I must say. And further down the Team Italia having a good start in 4th place at the moment, as at the front comfortably it seems Will Howarth. But all these riders trying to manoeuvre these big bikes around this go-kart circuit. It's so tricky to do. It's so tricky to be overtake. You have to commit, like we've just seen there. Team Italia trying their best round the outside, and now we head round. Half a lap completed now. They go through the chicane now, and there's Team Italia finally managing to get their own back. But now it's going to be a drag race to the hairpin. It's such a tricky circuit as actually Team Italia. He dropped back there. He misses a gear, it looks like, because just behind these two is Ernie the Badger trying to pick up positions whenever they can. 10 laps remaining in this race as now they cross line to make it 9. Will Howarth leading the way at the line. 6/10 of a second, the fastest lap of the race of a 56.9. An incredible start.
Decent there from pretty much all the field. No calamities whatsoever in the field, and Will Howarth getting away there from pole position. His really good start there, but he's still got a job to do here with Team Acme Racing just in behind. They head through now this long sweeper and looking back towards the second place team of Team Acme, then panning over to Howard. But yeah, fantastic here so far at the moment. And into the hairpin we follow Team Acme, currently running in P2. They'll get the joint best finish there, but Team Pinky in the Brain just following here in P3. There's not much to comment on at the moment, but they're still just making their way around, still building that confidence and in towards the first corner.
Yeah, there is Team Pinky in the Brain in third position on the 0-1 machine. They've had a great season so far, and Team Pinky in the Brain is the lead bike in the standard class. So the standard street stock 125 class must be a 125cc air or liquid cooled machines which can race from the age of 17, and it must have at least 16-inch wheels on the bike, and they're quite easy to recognise with the black number plate on the front of them. While the other class, which currently is getting led by Will Harf, the Motor Team Open class, it allows you to race a super stock 125 or an open 50cc machine, which basically means you can race 4-stroke and 2-stroke in the open class. Once again, age of 17 and over, and you can spot them with the red number plate and white numbers. So yeah, very easy to tell the difference. A lot of different riding abilities in this class though. It's quite a nice bike to learn your trade on, to be honest. Once you're a bit taller, you struggle to race for some of the other classes, and it's definitely the bikes you want to be learning on, because these are effectively, some of them, just standard road bikes.
Absolutely, they're very brilliant to see, and really happy to see them all out on the circuit, not just shoved in a garage away, and instead of racing around a little car circuit in Norfolk. We just continue to follow Team Ernie and the Badger here under pressure from the Keats machine here. But following now with Ernie and the Badger, sorry, I think I made a mistake in there.
Yeah, Ernie the Badger having a great race so far, and pulling and having some issues, it seems, so far this race, is that rider. No number on it. That is Will Howard's other motor team bike, but he's not riding this weekend. I believe that is Bernie Hook, but he's not got a transponder on his motorcycle, so he's not on the timing screens at the moment with no number on that full black machine. But Bernie Hook, yeah, he's struggling so far, it seems, but that is a brand new project, it seems, from Will Howard. He brought it last round for the motor team class. He did some races on it. He wasn't as strong as what he liked to be. He wasn't doing what he's doing at the moment, which is leading by 2 seconds from Acme Racing.
It's a brilliant lead there from Will Howard. He's doing absolutely incredible at the moment. We just now switch to the battle between I believe that is Team Italia and Team Dis. The Team Italia bike went up the inside here and has made the move, but can Team Dis get back up the inside? They're going to have a look now in towards the hairpin. It looks like Team Italia are going to come out on top in this one, but Team Dis not backing down there that easily, but onto the anchors they went for that penultimate corner. There's going to be Team Italia leaning across the way and up to 4th place for the number 70 machine.
Yeah, Team Italia, a great move. There's some great racing between the two riders, and Team Italia, we've had some surprising results this year, a podium this year for them, I believe, and it's been a great season so far. They had an issue last round with their gear shifter fallen off midway through the race, and they were not able to shift up for the rest of the race. But at this circuit, it's definitely a track which you need your gears, because it's tight, it's twisty. You need to get as much grunt as possible out of these 125 or 50cc machines, depending on what class you're in. And now we await to see what's going to happen with these two riders. What's the gap going to be at the line between Team Italia and Team Dis? At the line last time around, it's just less than 0.4 of a second. There is the 119 machine of Ernie the Badger, still trying their best to hold off from Bernie Hook, who has not got a transponder on the machine, so no matter where he finishes, he won't be classified in the results. So Bernie Hook on his return to FAB-Racing, having some strong results though. Although that's a brand new bike, he's going to take a lot to get used to. It's still great to see him back on the circuit, as there's Keats flying past on the red and black machine.
Yeah, that's a great chat, in fact, actually. Thank you so much for telling me that Will Howard's actually got a bike there for Bernie Hook. But at the moment, still Will Howarth out in the lead in that number 96. Team Acme Racing in second place at the moment. Then come the leaders of the standard class with Team Pinky and the Brain, currently running in P3. An overall podium there for the team, with Team Italia currently running in P4 and Team Dis in P5. We now look at the Keats bike being overtaken by Will Howarth, who's out in the lead with 3 laps to go. It's an incredible lead there by almost 3 seconds over the number 1 of Team Acme. He's been absolutely destroying the field, has Will Howarth. Don't you agree, Lewis?
Yeah, he's been destroying the field from the word go. It was an incredible start. He managed to get a comfortable gap into the first corner, managed to bridge a gap, so he could just take his normal line all the way throughout the first lap, and that's allowed him to almost be his usual self. I mean, it's incredible to see what he's doing. He's done it for many rounds, and that's what makes him so good. You can actually see on the outside of his levers that he's got almost a vest on top of him. That's his airbag device. He's got one of the external airbags that go on the outside of his levers, so it means if he does crash, it effectively works like a normal airbag, blows up and protects the likes of his collarbone. So not hidden like we've seen in much other levers and much other riders, but still just as protective as theirs. Will Howarth still looking as strong as ever. 3.3 seconds at the line last time around on the 96 machine. The bike is all singing, all dancing, and Will Howarth knows the bike. He's so comfortable on the bike. The bike setup is perfect for him. Suspension especially is the thing with these bikes. Of course, these riders still massive on them. So 2 laps remaining, less than 1.5 laps to go though, as now he comes down the back straight towards the hairpin with the 3 corners left in this lap before. Will Howarth just has to circle it one more time. It's been a great run from him. It's been a consistent run, as Will Howarth now will see the final lap flag to head on to the last lap of the race with a massive gap.
Oh, it's been an absolutely blitzing performance here from Will Howarth. He's done everything he needed to do. He's got a good start. He managed to shake off Team Acme Racing in currently 4.5 seconds behind there, but in towards the hairpin he goes. Howarth has been a man on a mission, and he's really showing that out on track. He now flies through this sequence of corners and really building this up to be a brilliant finish. But he's not had a lot of pressure from behind, but I don't think he will care about that. He's only got 3 corners to go. Will Howarth, you've got a couple corners to go, and Will Howarth will come across the line now and win his 6th race of the season. Will Howarth across the line, the checker flag is out, and a fantastic win for Will Howarth. A brilliant race after a good 10 laps of incredible racing. Team Acme Racing comes home in 2nd place. Team Pinky and the Brain taking the win in the motor team standard class. Team Italia just will be coming home in P4 shortly now. They're just crossing the line, just having a look over at our commentary position, and it's going to be Team Dis a couple seconds behind that. But Lewis, brilliant race there, despite only a couple of riders.
Yeah, Will Howarth, 5 seconds at the line, a dominant performance, and it's great to see a man and the machine like one. That's what I love about motorcycle racing, the fact that 2 completely different things can act in harmony, and Will Howarth, he's certainly got that bike running perfectly for him. 5 seconds at the line from Team Acme Racing, and Team Pinky and the Brain finishes 3rd overall and takes the race win in the motor team standard class. Having a little chat there with the number 1 machine of Team Acme Racing, and having a little chat what happened in that race, and what anyway Acme Racing can do to try and fend off Will Howarth's dominant performance. Even in qualifying, he had a great qualifying. It's a 53.3 in qualifying, over a second clear of Team Acme Racing. So a great race there. 2 races remaining for them, and plenty of action to come. Coming out of the Holden area now is the Mini GP50s for their race 1. They'll make their way onto the track and towards the grid. We will not have a warm-up lap this time around. A massive field that we have here, 24 riders in this huge and competitive mini GP50 class. It's a grid which is constantly expanding, and riders and talent constantly progressing.
Oh, absolutely. We'll just go through the grid just now. Marco Holt will be in pole position ahead of Luke Fitchett. Then here comes Frankie Watson, manages to get up into P3 there, a pretty position for Frankie. But Wilson Dilks will be in P4 ahead of Archie O'Brien, who struggled a bit in qualifying, it seems like. And Byron Johnson will be in P6. On the fourth row of the grid will be Austin Johnson ahead of Finlay Polhill, who will be in P8, with Matthew Johnson and Sam Gardiner rounding out the top 10. Jensen Bishop will be in P11 with Travis Shaw in P12, with the seventh row of the grid being filled by Seth Hayward and Chloe Gleason, with Harley Baker and Taylor Tomlinson, Dylan Torian, his son, then Annabelle McCarthy, Bethany Ashby and Ollie O'Gorman rounding off the grid.
Rounding off the grid in a massive field. 24 riders make up this competitive grid, but now it's Marco Holt who will be starting in pole position for this one. He'll be hoping for a great race this time around. So what will these guys do, and then what will these guys be able to compete in for the rest of the week? Luke Fitchett actually having an issue on the grid. So Luke Fitchett, his bike stopped and he's trying to get the thing bump started, so he pushes it back, and yeah, he's managed to get the thing restarted and managed to get back in his normal grid position. Frankie Watts getting final words of advice as we await for this 24 bike field to be cleared of all the Roman marshals, of all the parents, of all the helpers, before the points to the light will be made. The lights go on and the lights go off, and we go racing. Marco Holt versus Luke Fitchett into turn one. Who is it going to be? It's going to be Luke Fitchett. Archie O'Brien tries to go around the outside. Austin Johnson there further back in fifth place, but Luke Fitchett leads the way from Marco Holt. Wilson Dilks in third at the moment. Matthew Thomas with a good start to his race as well further down the field, but there is Marco Holt having a good start to the race. There's Finlay Paul as well, having to set up the bike mid-corner, but I believe Race Control will be investigating that start. And there is Byron Johnson ahead of Frankie Watson in fifth place at the moment. The competitive field, 4 bikes have already broken away, but what's going to happen? We see that time and time again. Once they start battling, that is when it starts to close back in once again. But the number 21 machine has begun to jump start penalty of 3 seconds. That's Dylan Tureen who's begun to jump start penalty. That's not what he'll be wanting at all in 16th position. But at the start of this race, ending lap 1, is Luke Fitchett, who leads the way by 4/10 of a second from Marco Holt and Wilson Dilks in second and third, with Archie O'Brien and Byron Johnson rounding out the top 5.
Luke Fitchett really showing his how good he is out the blocks, and just making sure to keep Marco Holt behind. But Marco Holt really right on that number 7. He really want to be going for a move, or does he want to hold back for now and just keep Fitchett under pressure, keep him unsettled throughout this whole entire race, and then jump? Nope, he's going to go early, and looking down the inside, and that gap just shutting down, slamming that door in Holt's face, and Fitchett absolutely saying no you don't, but Holt looks so quick. I'm sure he's going to set the fastest lap. Yes, he does exactly that, looking down the inside, and he's already on Fitchett now and really putting that number 7 under pressure. I wonder how Fitchett will be feeling under that helmet. He'll be knowing he's there. He'll be looking behind him, just trying to fend off, and hold down the inside. But again, that door is shutting, and he can't afford to do that too many times, because now look who's in the background. Wilson Dilks is going to have a look and try and peep into this battle. But look how close. Holt really looks confident through that little section we've just had, and he's just putting now Fitchett under pressure. They come out in toward the hairpin down the inside, and that was so close.
Yeah, it's so close, and the issue is where Marco's trying to make the move, he needs to be closer than that, because Luke Fitchett, he's not just closing the door. I don't think he knows how close he actually is, as now he will, because Marco Holt into turn 1 takes the race lead from Luke Fitchett. Luke Fitchett goes to fight back. Marco looks at his right, checks it, nobody is there, and tips in, takes his normal line. It's Marco Holt, the 58, leading the way from Luke Fitchett, and Wilson Dilks in third place, ready to pick up the scraps. But time and time again, we've seen a Holt versus Fitchett situation. Time and time again, it's produced a great race, and this is going to be no exception. Sunny conditions here at Ellough Park. Will we see a lap record break in here? Let's find out. The riders will be absolutely roasting inside of their levers right now. They'll be sweating by the end of this race, but 8 laps remaining. It comes thick and fast here at FAB.
Oh, absolutely. The heat will be really being put on them, but we now continue to watch Holt taking that race lead with 7 laps to go of this race. Luke Fitchett will be staying in behind, and there you go, the traffic already going into play. Callum Maxwell there getting in the way, and they've just got to go round that the rider, but it's still Holt, and I believe it seems like Fitchett is just behind by just over half a second, but I think because of Maxwell that gap has already closed now. You can see now Wilson Dilks just staying in behind there, seeing if he can pick up anything from these riders, finding if he's got a strength that these guys don't. And in toward the hairpin, they go hard on the brakes and try not to over brake instead and get that trail brake as correct and precise as possible. And this is and also Archie O'Brien there just trying to see if he can. He's just a little bit farther back, but I'm sure if these guys continue to battle, I'm sure he'll be then thrown straight into the fight, and I'm sure he can grab a position or two if he's in the mix.
Wilson Dilks in 3rd place at the moment on the 85 machine, a part of the Danny Webb GP camp, having a great ride so far. He's fighting for the podium positions, and there's Marco Holt. Marco Holt has got an issue with his motorcycle. It's cut out on the infield part of the circuit. The race leader's bike has stopped. There's his dad trying to help him to get going again. He said go back on it. He's trying to get a bump started. Will they be able to get any compression out of that motor? No. And it doesn't look like it. He's distraught with that. Marco Holt's dad, he's frantically trying to do anything. He's ripping off parts of the bike and managed to try and get them bump started again. They're trying absolutely everything and managed to get the bike going again. So he's ripped something off the front end there. I couldn't see exactly what that was, and he's managed to get going, and that is the main thing. Can he get any points? Let's find out as Luke Fitchett managed to take the race lead and managed to capitalise off Mark Holt's issues. Wilson Dilks now promoted into 3rd with Archie O'Brien in 3rd place position, but there is Ollie O'Gorman and Lucy Curtis battling further down the field.
Oh, absolutely. But now we can see, they're making their way through the little field. Oh my goodness me, did you see Fitchett almost touching the rear end of O'Gorman, and it's just going to slither his way past side by side there a couple of riders, but Luke Fitchett, brilliant. Oh, so we've got someone down.
Yeah, Matthew Thomas down on the deck. He's not happy with that one. He's fuming with that one. His visor's broken as well there, everywhere to flick it up. So Matthew Thomas, he broke the front screen as well of that 47 machine. He sits on the tyre wall, disgruntled, but nothing he can do this time around. 4 laps to go though in this race. Luke Fitchett dives up the inside of another one of our back markers here, a massive field, 24 bike field, but that was 17 of Riley Paisley there. So there is Luke Fitchett. There is your race leader, the number 7 Flat Cap Fitchett, leading the way with just over 3 laps remaining, and now he leads by 1.5 seconds at the line. A further 3/10 behind is Archie O'Brien, but currently the battle for 4th is on between Byron Johnson and Frankie Watson, as now Luke Fitchett getting past even more traffic. There's Cal Maxwell getting saddled by him, but 3 laps remaining in this race. It certainly turned out to be a cracker on this cracking day here at Ellough Park.
Oh, it's absolutely, and the sun really coming down now, so it might start to get into the visors and really blind these riders. So hopefully they'll be able to stay on the circuit. We just see Wilson Dilks just getting past one of the riders. You can see there, you can see now Archie O'Brien there in the iconic Spider-Man helmet, making his way through over the crest and in towards the hairpin. Through the chicane we go, and he's just got to avoid a couple more riders. Head toward the hairpin now. He's also done a bit of time there to Wilson Dilks, yes, just correcting myself. But through the final corner they go, and Luke Fitchett will be still leading the race with 2 laps to go. He seems to be really unchallenged at the moment, leading by 1.9 seconds over the number 85 machine of Wilson Dilks. You just saw there on your camera, that is Matthew Thomas still disgruntled, and I don't blame him, honestly. It's really frustrating as a rider being in that position of watching all your mates going around the circuit whilst you're out of the race. It's a dismal sight.
It certainly is. And Mark Holt in 10th place at the moment, a 49.1 last time around. So a fastest lap of the race from Mark Holt. He's broke the lap record by 0.8 of a second, the lap record that he set last year. So Mark Holt, he's crossed that lap record, and a great ride there from him. Of course, going into this round, it was a 49-point gap, but Mark Holt breaking the lap record as Luke Fitchett heads on to the final lap of the race in a dominant fashion. 2.6 seconds at the line between first and second. So Luke Fitchett, a great ride there from him. Not the fastest lap of the race, but he will pick up the all-important 25 championship points. He'll eat into Mark Holt's 49-point lead. So this is where things are going to start to get interesting. This is where things are going to start to get dramatic. There was Taylor Thompson just up ahead that he's got to get through, but he won't really mind because he's got a comfortable lead. And now Luke Fitchett looks to take another race win. Luke Fitchett in the 50s, that's his first race win of the season, and he comes across the line to take a cracking race victory and a cracking day. And Luke Fitchett will be happy with that one after the incredible race, an incredible run. A 2.4 seconds gap at the line. Archie O'Brien in third, but there is Finlay Paulhill as well, making his way through towards the line. But there is your race leader. There is the number 7 of Fitchett, once again putting on an impressive run in the Mini GP 50 class. He's been fighting at the front all year, but now he's able to make his stats. First place for him. Wilson Dilks comes home in second. Archie O'Brien round off the podium in an incredible race in the Mini GP 50 class.
Yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant there. Is Matthew Thomas hitching a lift from a fellow friend there, Taylor Tomlinson. So great partnership there. That's the second time we've seen that today. But if you've just tuned in, welcome to round 4 of the FAB-Racing Championship. You've just missed a brilliant race here in the Mini GP 50 class. And so if you're just joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if you're on Facebook watching this, please give it a like and give it a reshare, or please just share as much as possible. It's a brilliant series, an incredible paddock here at FAB-Racing British Mini Bikes Championship. So we've got a couple more races. The Mini F1 Sidecars race 1, followed by the Pit Bike 140, and then the main event, the Mini GP 70 race. We now finish off our Mini GP 50 race, and wow, incredible.
Yeah, incredible result. Riders coming back into the pit lane now. That's Lucy Curtis's bike also getting put back into pit lane. But these riders are still going to have loads of running to do, with 2 races still to come for these guys across the weekend. So coming up now is going to be race 1 of the Mini F1 sidecars, and just like that plane there, these sidecars are going to be flying. They were flying in qualifying, putting in consistent runs, and it was a very quick qualifying session, with the Green Streets and McWilliams being just split between a couple tenths on track, and the finish up 4 tenths of a second separated first and second. And now with the first race coming up, it's even hotter. Track conditions are near perfect to be racing. There's a slight wind. I believe wind right now is around 30 mile per hour for these guys, and it means that these riders will be feeling it ever so slightly. But it's not a cold wind, it's a hot wind on a very hot day. 23 degrees. You don't really feel it, to be honest, because it is quite humid here at Ellough Park down in Suffolk. But hello and welcome if you're just joining us. You've joined us at a time with one of the most spectacular classes, the Mini F1 sidecars. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be it's going to be Jason Leo Greenstreet, on pole position with a 56.7. So Andy McWilliams run in qualifying, so McWilliams will be starting in second. So will we finally see Greenstreet be able to take it to McWilliams in the race, be able to take the first race win since last season?
It's been the age-old question. We've been talking about it behind the cameras, behind the commentary off stream, and we've always been wondering if the Greenstreets can take it. It's their best opportunity with Jason and Leo Greenstreet on pole position there. You can see that sidecar on the left-hand side. Mick Williams will be in second place with the Impies, followed by the Elms with Vincent, Amy Tilbrook in 5th place with Jamie Alexander and Ayana Glovers But there we go, the lights are on, and we go racing once again. A good start there from the 90 Green Street car, but can Mick Williams have a look around the outside? They all lean in towards turn 1, and that 90 Green Street car has still kept the lead here. But that experience of Mick Williams, can he do anything to try and nab the lead back in the early stages? In third place, that seems to be the orange machine of the in-piece, I believe, and with that number 457 on the front. They head now in toward the hairpin, and the Green Streets doing their best to keep out front, but look how easily they're splitting away on this opening lap. They head now through the back section, over the grass and into the hairpin. They go, the really tight hairpin. We've got to really lean in, and now into the very, very tight couple of hairpins. We go a bit of a moment there from the Green Street car, and now Mick Williams will be all over them. They're having a look already, but now they're still in the lead. It's still the number 90 out in front, otherwise the number 26 on Mick Williams, but he'll have a look now at the inside. You see that Red Bull livery making their way, and they're already cutting across to that inside in the Green Street car.
Now, Mick Williams trying everything to catch up that gap, 0.2 of a second at the line last time around. Jason and Leo Greenstreet lead the way on their number 90 outfit sidecar, and now they're trying everything. The back end squirming about. But Mick Williams, he's going to have to find something special. Michael Elms, he's going to have to try his hardest as passenger to catch back up. Will this finally be Jason and Leo Greenstreet's opportunity? It looks like the gap's extended. This looks to be far bigger than just 0.2 of a second. We'll wait to see as now they head into the hairpin to power it round the corner, power it out, and it's 2-stroke versus 4-stroke. It's the Green Streets versus Mick Williams and Michael Elms. Who is it going to be? We await to see as now they come across the line. It's 0.6 of a second separate Jason and Leo Greenstreet and Mick Williams in second. You hear the squeal of Jason and Leo Greenstreet. They've been trying as hard as they can all weekend. You can hear that bike squirming about on its absolute limit, on the knife edge, and that's what you have to do to be able to compete with Mick Williams.
Oh, absolutely. You've really got to put your every inch, every ounce of energy into this run. I won't blame them if the Green Street car come across and completely drown out of sweat, but in toward the hairpin, and Mick Williams is still keeping on the pressure. They're still separated by not a lot at all, about 0.3 of a second, and in toward the hairpin they go. Look at it, battling the tooth and nail. That P1 spot, it's up for grabs here, and they make their way now through the penultimate corner and on toward the timing line, where we will see that timer tick down to 4 laps remaining. The fastest lap of the race going to Mick Williams, but I don't think this battle is over just yet. That number 90 Green Street car is doing whatever it can to just defend off. I'm not entirely sure if they'll be focusing just behind now. I'm sure they'll be doing everything they can, just try and stick that silver, black and blue sidecar in the middle of the circuit and just defend it. Look at that, they pulled away. That mistake there from what we thought to be the invincible Mick Williams.
Yeah, it looks to be more of, it could be a mistake or it could be a slight issue with their bike, but yeah, it looks to be an issue. So Mick Williams running into a mechanical issue. Something did fall off the back of their bike there on the 26 machine. Are they going to continue though? It looks like it. Just try to limp it home. But of course, Williams on that 2-stroke, so it could have been them just bogging down or missing a gear, but certainly the bike is bogging down at the moment. They're still in second place, still managing to hold up, but Mick Williams, this may be their first dry race. This may be the first dry race that they've lost in a long time. The last time they lost the race, I believe, was Clay Pigeon last year in the wet. So now Mick Williams looks to have some sort of issue, but even at the start of the race, with everything looked to be right, Jason Leo Greenstreet looked to have the pace. 3 laps remain though in this race, and can they nurse it home? The gap between Mick Williams and Chris and Robert Impey at the line was 9.9 seconds, so quite a significant gap between second and third. Is it going to be enough to nurse it home over 3 laps of Ellough Park? It's going to be an interesting one. Can they pick up points? I think they will pick up points, but will they stay on the podium? That's a completely another different question, because at the line this time around, it's going to be the real saying point of how much time they're losing per lap with this sidecar. So 9.9 at the line last time around, folks, between second and third place. This time around, though, as Mick Williams crosses the line, their gap between Jason and Leo Greenstreet, first of all, is 10 seconds, but we have to wait for Chris and Robert Impey to cross the line. Could it be the heat affecting the two-stroke more? Is it too hot for the jets that they've got in the bike? It's just not running right, but now we wait for Chris and Robert Impey. Now the gap between Mick Williams, it's actually extended, so Mick Williams managed to hold on to that second place, it looks like right now.
Oh, it's absolutely, I can't believe it. I never thought I'd see the day Mick Williams having an issue, but that run does look like it's coming to an end. And at the moment, it's also Chris and Robert Impey that will be running in the podium place. The closest battle at the moment is the battle for four between Vince Bailey and Amy Tilbury, currently running in P4 with that 369 and that 230 of Mark Palmer and Ems. But it's going to be the final lap of this race. Who would have thought it? The Jason and Leo Greenstreet have qualified this sidecar on pole position, and they're now running in the lead, but not just in the lead, by a massive margin over the impeccable duo of Mick Williams and Michael Elm. And now they've only got a couple of corners, and through this sequence of corners, through the hairpin to go, in towards the chicane, and they've only got a couple of more seconds to wait. I can't believe they can be containing their inside. They must be containing the time. There's still a couple of corners to go. The Greenstreets are just a couple moments away through that final corner, and the record is broken. The Greenstreets win for the first time in sidecars. Incredible scenes here at Ellough Park, and it's absolutely one for the history books. Jason and Leo Greenstreet taking their first win in a while over the legendary Mick Williams. I'm sure he'll be hopefully there'll be some congratulations between the two after this race, but Mick Williams, he'll be dismal. He won't be happy to finish the P2. He wants to be that P1 spot, but I'm sure that he did so well to manage to contain that issue. And there goes the Impey car. They had more problems. It seemed like their lap times completely dropping off, and the Impeys just managing to close up to just under 7 seconds. But these are the men of the moment. Jason and Leo Greenstreet have a win for the first time this season in the Mini F1 sidecars. What do you think, Leo? What is running through your head?
A lot right now, as well, Jason and Leo Greenstreet, because what an incredible result that is for them. Their first race win of the season. I believe that's their first race win since clay pitching last year, and it's certainly the first in a long time in dry conditions. It's so great to see for this family-run team. They finally managed to get past Williams. Of course, they started on pole position first of all, and they managed to be able to start in front of Mick Williams for the first in a long time. But who knows, has Mick Williams been trying to nurse a problem all weekend? That's the first time we've seen it. We'll find out in race 2. But that was a great race from Jason and Leo Greenstreet. They actually look pretty calm right now in the pit lane, and they don't look like they're jumping up and down too much. Maybe there's holding in their excitement for later on. Of course, they could be knackered as well, especially trying to fit 2 riders on the small platform of these outfits. And there is congratulations from Michael Elms to both Jason and Leo Greenstreet. So that's lovely to see. There's Mick Williams is also shaking their hand. Great sportsmanship, and that's what we love to see. These sidecar guys are really like one big family.
Oh, absolutely. It's incredible to see. It's just casual conversations, but more than ever, just a brilliant relationship between the two. So we now move into the penultimate race of today. We now see out of the pit lane comes the pit bike 140 class, and it's going to be Lucas Brown on pole position for this one. A great lap there from the number 7 machine. He takes his second pole position of the season, but what an amazing lap there right at the end. And then of course, going through the grid, Chris Wells the championship leader, will be lining up on the front row of the grid ahead of Reece Peacock and Liam Wood. Zach Torian will be on the third row of the grid in P5 with Josh Bisonetti in P6. Bradley Ferreira, Matthew Lindsay, Bailey Lawrence and Daniel Gilbert will round out the top 10 with Shannon King in P11 ahead of Paul Nosal in P12. Charlie Eagling and Alfie Garrett with the two Chatter brothers with Joshua Chatter and Louis Chatter on the 8th row of the grid.
Yep, so great field, a lot to talk about in this one, and 16 riders make up the field. 16 riders are about to take to the Ellough Park circuit for the first race for the Pit Bike 140 guys. They await on the grid for the final checks to be done. The final checks have been done and the point to the light has been made. The light will come on now. And the lights go off and we go racing. Lucas Brown looks to his left to see Chris Wells is not alongside him, and so he can take his normal line into turn one. Chris Wells in second place, a good start there from him. Liam Wood as well in third place at the moment, ahead of Reece Peacock, dropping down to fourth at that start. Bailey Lawrence, another good qualifying there from her. Very, very impressive, making her way up the order just behind Zach Tureen, who looks at the inside of what Sean Whittaker, so that's a very, very good ride at the moment. So these riders making their way through the pack. 16 riders all clean at the moment. Scorching conditions at the moment, as well as there is the number 20 machine of Alfie Garrod just behind, further down in the pack. Fabio Quattararo style number 20 on that machine as well, and a lot of these riders will be hoping to get Fabio Quattararo and blitz the field, because 8 rows deep is this field and a lot of talent is in it. And you can just see there at the front, it's going to be Chris Wells who looks up the inside of Lucas Brown, who's in the race lead. That's a 4-bike breakaway at the front with Lucas Brown from Chris Wells, from Liam Wood and Reece Peacock.
Oh, brilliant battle there between Brown and Wells, but also you've got Liam Wood and Reece Peacock there, just keeping those two occupied. Not hopefully they're not going to be looking back too much, because they've got a lead to focus on, but I can't imagine what Chris Wells is going to be like at the moment, because he's trying to attack Lucas Brown, but also has got Liam Wood right behind him to now head in toward the hairpin, and looks like Chris Wells just closing that gap ever so slightly. Make their way now into the penultimate hairpin and through that final long right-hand sweeper to start the 9 laps to go, with Lucas Brown continuing, but now down the inside goes Chris Wells, and he's made a fantastic move there up the inside, made it bold, made it brave, and he's now up into the lead of the race. Chris Wells took the fast lap last time out, and it's clear to see why he is now the leading bike here around the Ellough Park.
Yeah, a lot of competition on this Ellough Park circuit. Top 4 seem to be the riders to beat at the moment. No one can compete at this pace at the front. Chris Wells leading the way from Lucas Brown with Liam Wood and Reece Peacock just behind in third and fourth. No one can break away from each other. As soon as they start battling, it closes up even more if you didn't think that was even possible, with outlying that are coming to a couple of corners to go. It's going to be 8 laps to go, so this race is ticking down. Time is starting to tick down for the likes of Reece Peacock, who has some competitive riders to try and get in front of before he can fight for that race lead. But just one mistake from Chris Wells could send him all the way down to 4th place around this circuit, so it's very, very vital to stay calm, stay composed, and to stay on good consistent pace.
Oh, I'm absolutely intrigued by this battle. I'm absolutely fixated. I've got my eyes on the screen. It's just incredible seeing these 4 riders going at it, putting that shoulder, putting that elbow down, and they make their way through that hairpin chicane section, but on towards that massive hairpin that had the iconic Ellough Park logo on it. And it looks like Chris Wells still leading out there. A little move there from Reece Peacock. He's still trying to put Liam Wood under pressure. But they make their way now in towards turn 1. And Chris Wells is still hanging on to that lead, but it's only by a thread. Looks like Reece Peacock has nabbed the fastest lap of the race with the 51.141. So really competitive in that one.
Yeah, really competitive lap times across the field at the moment. You can see Zach Tureen and Josh Basante as well coming across the line. There is Bailey Lawrence trying to defend her best from Bradley Ferreira for that 7th place. So Bill Lawrence down the inside, actually, it's the 44 Bradley Ferreira, and there makes the move, and Bradley Ferreira is through, cuts across the track though, and almost wipes out Bill Lawrence's front wheel. So Bill Lawrence on the 09 machine, it's going to have to fight back pretty quick, because Ferreira looks to have the pace with 7 laps remaining in this race. As there we have, coming into the hairpin, these two riders. Can Bailey Lawrence catch up? They've done a lot of progress on their riding over the past couple of years. As at the front, Lucas Brown now sits his fast lap of the race with 51 dead. So impressive lap time there for a Pit Bike 140 machine. The lap record here is a 49.8, so still quite a bit off that was set by Reece Peacock just last year. So there is that battle still for 7th position now with 6 laps remaining.
Oh, absolutely brilliant stuff there. Bradley Ferreira doing what he can. He had an issue in qualifying, I believe, and he's now ahead of Bailey Lawrence. So he got that move done, but out in front, Reece Peacock managing to get into the podium place. He managed to get past Liam Wood last time around, but we continue now with the race lead. We switch that to the race lead. Look how much pressure Wells is on. He must be feeling the weight on his shoulders. He really does. He went a little bit wide through the exit of turn 1, and really left an opening for Lucas Brown. Brown just trying to do whatever he can to take that lead. He does need those points. He will really need those in the championship. He currently sitting second behind Chris Wells, and if he manages to make that move on the number 62, that'll be crucial for his championship. We really want to nibble into that championship lead if he had the pace, but I'm sure there will still be a load of opportunities. We've still got 5 laps to go, and we just pan out. I think there's a bit of an issue here. There we go. Somebody's down. I wonder who that is. That's Shannon King, I believe.
So there's the rider down on the deck, and very, very disappointing there from the 97 machine of Joshua Chatter. So that, of course, starting in the back row of the grid, he's trying his best to make up some ground, and down on the deck he goes now. But now we look at the front, and it's going to be Chris Wells who's in the race lead on the 62 machine from Lucas Brown still. So these two riders still going at it. Listen, 2/10 of a second was the gap at line, but Reece Peacock has now made his way into 3rd place ahead of Liam Wood. So Liam Wood actually losing touch on this pack over the last lap or so. So will Liam Wood be able to get the time back? We're going to have to wait and see, as now we await, because last minute line 6/10 of a second between the top 3 and Liam Wood. So Liam Wood, he's going to have to find something special to bridge that back up. But now backmarkers start to come back into play. 4 laps remaining. They're going to come across the line after this final corner to make it just 3 laps. They're going to come across the backmarker at near enough the perfect position, so then they can cleanly get past. Liam Wood might get held up ever so slightly on the exit, but we're going to have to wait and find out. 3 laps remaining in this race. It's going to be a last lap duel, I can call it now.
Oh, absolutely. It's been absolutely fantastic. The last time round at the top 3, they were separated in terms of fastest time by less than 600ths of a second. So that is impeccably close. They're just showing how on the limit these riders are, and we just continue to follow with Lucas Brown. I think I heard a squeal from one of the tyres there, but I'm not entirely sure if that was correct. But Lucas Brown still going at it with Chris. Well, he hasn't made a proper move, but there's still a bit of time to get that move done and dusted. But Wells is really commanding that lead out in front with 2 laps to go.
2 laps remaining in this race. Chris Wells on the 62 machine, on the 62 Pit Bike 140, leads the way from the AMR machine of Lucas Brown on the number 7 bike. And Lucas Brown, he's got still quite a ground to make up. 3/10 of a second at the line last time around. It looks like though, through this first sector, he's managed to close that in. So Lucas Brown, he's going to have to find something special still though to actually make a move work. Reece Peacock, he's dropped back ever so slightly, whether that be back markers or just better late race pace for Wells and Brown. We're going to have to wait and see if he can bridge that up at all. 2 laps remaining. There's Shannon King just in front of these guys. Shannon King running in 11th place by herself at the moment on the circuit, but Chris Wells and Lucas Brown gets past her, and actually no, that's number 20 of Alfie Garrod that are managing just to get past. The bike in front is Charlotte Egan and then Shannon King. But on the final lap of this race, Chris Wells leads the way. Lucas Brown, he's trying everything. He's trying new lines. He hasn't tried at all this race to try and make the work, to try and take another race win to his tally. It's going to be Chris Wells versus Lucas Brown. Half a lap remaining here at Ellough Park. They come into the final sector now, though, and now Lucas Brown having to set it up ever so slightly there on the 07 machine. Chris Wells, he looks very, very happy. They run towards it. Lucas Brown dives down the inside. Wow, what a move. Very, very far back. He makes it work. He makes it stick. And the experience of Chris Wells taught him to set it up. But Lucas Brown, in a last lap drama, wins the race to take his first race win of the year. And Lucas Brown, very, very happy there. Chris Wells, he'll be happy with that one. Although he finished second, he would have loved that great battle. A handshake in the background between two. Reece Peacock, he watched that one unfold, but there was nothing he could have done to get involved in third.
Oh my goodness me, my jaw just dropped on that penultimate corner over. I couldn't believe that. Down to the hairpin, really, really bold. He was setting that up for a good couple of laps. He knew that he needed to get it done, but yeah, fantastic. You see the race is done and they're all having a good old laugh about it, and it's incredible to see everyone just enjoying it after the race is done. But a fantastic move and win there for Lucas Brown for his first of the season, and now he can start nibbling into the lead, under the championship lead of Chris Wells. Reece Peacock joining them on the podium, and Liam Wood just finishing just over 3 seconds behind that one.
Yeah, a great race there from Lucas Brown. Great last lap move, but of course these guys still have 2 more races to come this weekend. Coming up next is race 1 of the Premier class that we have here at FAB. It's the LS2 Helmets Mini GP70 British Championship. My name is Lewis Ray, and a special guest for this one is Sullivan Menzies. So Sullivan, how are you today?
I'm really good, thank you. I'm a bit battered and bruised from that crash, but other than that, everything's really good.
And so, how are you feeling heading into this one? Heading in to watch some of the riders that you've been helping out for years, such as obviously Luke Fitchett, who we see now coming out of pit lane. How does it feel to watch him on track at the moment?
Yeah, it's really good. He's in a really good rhythm. So is Marco. Finley's doing all right. He's had a little bit of a struggle this weekend so far, but I'm kind of expecting him to do a bit better in this race. Luke's not had the best of qualifyings in any of his races, but he's been able to get good out of it. And then, so Blake, it was his birthday yesterday, so we're all celebrating his birthday.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. And Mark Holt's going to be on pole position with Wilson Dilks alongside him on the front row. Henry McCartney, an impressive qualifying in third place with Archer Bryan alongside him. Luke Fitchett will be starting in fifth with Blake Wilson alongside him. Bill Harris and Phil and Paul Hill in the fourth row of the grid. Austin Johnson and Ollie Sims will start in 9th and 10th. And Harry Payne on the number 11 machine starts in 11th. Will Mark Holt be able to convert the pole into a race when we're going to have to wait and see? There's going to be no warm-up lap for this one. We're going to be straight at it and the lights will go on and then straight out and we'll go racing. So, Marco Holt, we await to see a long wait actually on the grid at the moment while some final checks are done. But the lights go on now. And the lights go out and we go racing here in the LS2 Helmets Mini GP70 Race 1. It's Marco Holt who leads the way with Henry McCartney slotting himself into second place. So a great start there from him. And Luke Fitchett up into third after a great start, starting in fifth. Qualifying in fifth, up into third, as now Archie O'Brien. Here's an initial good launch, dropping down the order at the moment. Looks like Blake Wilson's also trying to get past him as Henry McCartney now takes the race lead on the 31 machine. It's a new look for Henry McCartney this weekend, and it's a complete new pace taking the race lead from Mark Holt. Can he convert it into the race win? We're going to have to wait and find out.
Yeah, well, it's looking really good. Henry knows what he needs to do. Marco's been approximately 3 attempts fast in every session, so it's just really good. And you can see Henry knows what he needs to do. Luke's trying to tag on the back of that, and I think they could all go in a massive pack at this rate, but Henry's breaking away, so this is going to be a really, really interesting race. As you can tell, he's trying to get that early lead, pulling away from Marco, so Marco knows he needs to get the hammer down now.
Yeah, Mark Holt is going to have to not let Henry McCartney get into a rhythm, not let Henry McCartney get away in his own space of the track. But Wilson Doubts now under pressure from Blake Wilson as well, as Archie O'Brien's just at the back of his pack. He had a good initial launch, probably the best launch that we've seen in a long time in the 70 class for Archie O'Brien, but he just seemed to get swallowed up by the pack as the lap progressed. But now Marco Holt is on the back of the race leader, but he's not managing to make any move this time around. Luke Fitchett still in third. He's been under a lot of pressure, but Archie O'Brien, having struggled on that first lap, he's still in a good position for the rest of this race.
Yeah, well, if he can stay on the back, then it'll be really, really good steps. But as you can see now, Marco's probably lining Henry up. He knows what he needs to do. Luke's just trying to cling on the back of Marco, but Henry's definitely trying to pull away because he knows what he needs to do. It's just about him doing it now. So you see him how tight he's going. He knows he needs to hold this, which is just helping Luke, because Luke's now able to line up Marco.
Yeah, now Henry McCartney, he can say he's not under pressure at the moment, because Marco Holt, he looks incredibly strong, and it looks like he's just trying to find any space pass, or maybe he's just trying to learn where he can make a pass later on in the race and just try and analyse the whole situation, because right now the front pack, it's closed back in with 6 riders that could potentially win this race. But where can Marco Holt make this move for the race lead, Solly?
Well, there's a lot of places. He should really be launching it into turn 1, it feels me, or going down into turn 4, as we'll be going into in a second. There's a couple really good places. It's just about getting a good exit, and Henry's just going very, very tight. But that should have been the lap he should have done it. But as you can see, he's going around the outside. He's trying to get every opportunity available. But now Luke's going to be able to get a nose in it, and if he can do Marco, then Marco's probably going to get quite frustrated and start overriding the bike if he's not careful.
Yeah, we've seen from Marco Holt, he's had ups and downs so far in the past couple of years, but he's back and fighting towards the top at the moment. This field is so close. It's almost like a motor-free race at the front. You cannot break away from the pack, and that's because these overtakes keep happening as Marco Holt looks for an overtake at turn 1 and makes happen. But now on the cutback is Henry McCartney. He takes it back once again, and now that Marco Holt's shown his front wheel, will this cause Henry McCartney, like we've seen one lap ago, to start riding quite tight and very, very defensive? Oh, he's down. Henry McCartney has crashed, and he's took Marco Holt with him. A disaster at the front there. So Marco Holt, a disaster there for him. He couldn't have done anything as Henry McCartney crashed and took them both out. But just pushing too hard, trying to defend and trying to keep that race lead. So Henry McCartney tried his best, but asked too much from that front tyre.
Oh, what a shame. You can tell the mistake he made. He was still trading the front brake, just trying to go defensive, and that is the risk. And now, as you can tell, Wilson's got in the lead of Luke. Luke, I think, missed the gear there, and now, as we can see, Archie's all over the back, and this has just completely twisted the whole race. Blake's dropped back. Archie's now overtook Blake. Luke's gone behind Wilson, and poor Marco getting caught up in Henry's crash. But that's what it is. That's the danger of being on the outside and going tight. So it's cost them too. But now it looks like Wilson's definitely trying to make a break, and this could definitely help him in the championship standings and run, and definitely help Luke as well, as he was 40 points off Marco. So this is going to be really costly, but it's good that they've remounted. Hopefully they don't pull into pits though.
Yeah, hopefully they can get some points on the board and get a finish in this race. 7 laps to go. It's now Wilson Delts on the 85 machine who leads away from Luke Fitchett and Archie O'Brien in third. And in fourth position is Blake Wilson. Now Blake Wilson, we've seen him quite a lot this year in around that 4th, 5th place position. He's just there, and he's close enough that if any mistakes happen and any fights start, like we're seeing with Fitchett and O'Brien right now, we can start to edge that gap closer and closer and get involved in this podium battle.
Yeah, I think the problem he's got is he just makes a couple too many mistakes on a couple laps, which just costs him over time, which he's got the pace to stay with these guys. It's just a little bit every lap when he makes that mistake, he then drops back by a ton. Otherwise he'd be in this battle staying with these guys. But as you can see now, Luke is definitely all over Archie O'Brien, all over Luke Fitchett. He's definitely going to be lining him up as Wilson's now pulling away.
Yeah, he tried to line up there, but he had to back out at turn 1. The gap shut on him, and there was no way through for the 91 machine. It's now Fitchett versus O'Brien. This is allowing Wilson Doubts to go away. He's set the fastest lap of the race with 47.973 at the front, and extends his gap to 9/10 of a second. So Wilson Delts, he's leading the way. This will be his first race win of the year anyway, and it'll be very, very impressive. Although there's been some drama at the front, he will not mind, because of course that is a part of racing. So Wilson Delts, he's impressive at the front, as right now Archie O'Brien, you can tell he's using all of his head right now to plan an attack as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, and he's down. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Archie O'Brien just asking too much once again for the front, crashed on the second final corner there on the left-hander, asking too much for that front, tuck the front. Are you potentially trail braking going into that corner? He's just trail braked a bit too long.
Yes, he'll be trail braking into Mini Rossi corner, and he's obviously just done it. Oh, and Henry's down again. Oh wow, so this, I'd say these track conditions are getting a little bit too hot, and it's wearing out the tyres and causing a lot of problems. It's definitely going to be a frustrating one for Henry, but back to Archie, you could tell he was trying to stay with Marco, to stay with Luke, and he was applying the pressure, but it just obviously wasn't enough to make Luke mess up, and it obviously was Luke that came out lucky with it. But now you can see Blake's all over the back of Luke, so he knows what he can do. Blake might be able to get a move in with 3 laps to go now.
Yeah, 3 laps to go. Wilson Delts leads the way. He won't know too much about exactly what's happened behind him, but Blake Wilson in third, he's seen all of this unfold. He's seen the drama at the front between Holt and McCartney, and he's also just seen Archie O'Brien tuck the front as well. Now, how do you approach this if you were Blake Wilson? Would you continue pushing as hard as you can, as that looked like Archie O'Brien stopped at the top of the circuit as well, but he's managed to get going again. But yeah, if you're a Blake Wilson, you've seen all this unfold, all these crashes happen, would you continue pushing 100%, or would you potentially reel it in and leave it until you think you can make a safe pass?
I definitely have to try and give at least one lunge to Luke, because he's caught him up, he's all over the back of him. It's just about doing it now. He knows he's got the pace, he's been able to stay with him. For Wilson, I'd just say time to bring it home now, just cruise around, stay smooth. But Blake's all over the back of him, he's catching him, so he can get a move here if he does it.
And now Wilson Delts, the gap at line, 2.1 seconds, but the gap between these two riders, 0.2 of a second at line. It's certainly closer now. And Blake Wilson, he's trying everything. He's going this way, that way, trying to find any way to make a pass. But is he going to leave it till the last lap? Is this lap just to find out where Luke Fitchett's potential weak point is compared to Wilson's, and where he could potentially try and invent something special for this final lap? 2 laps remaining. They're coming across into the final sector of the circuit. They flick round to the left. This is where Archie O'Brien crashed earlier on. Now we flick round to the final corner to head on to the last lap of the race, as Wilson Delts who leads. But Luke Fitchett versus Blake Wilson is the battle that we're all watching. It's the battle that we all want to see in second and third, but their race leader has been so strong all race. Wilson Delts, there's been some drama at the front that's allowed them to get into this position, but at the end of the day, he stayed on. He's putting the lap time. He's got the fastest lap of the race. He deserves this one. 2.2 seconds at the line last time around. Comfortable gap at the moment. Luke Fitchett and Blake Wilson still battling it out further behind, but Wilson Delts is getting his first race win of the year, and there is Luke Fitchett still defending, but Wilson Delts comes across the final corner now, and he'll take the race win, take the checker flag, and take his first race victory on the 85 machine. Luke Fitchett managed to hold off from Blake Wilson on that final lap. Happy about that battle there, but Wilson Delts, what a result. 2.5 seconds at the line, with Luke Fitchett and Blake Wilson rounding off the podium. So an impressive ride. Blake Wilson, as we said, although he's had incidents from other people managing to get in this position, he still put out a gap of 2.5 seconds as he looks to give someone a lift to, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Henry, his teammate, giving him a lift back.
Yeah, both of these riders, of course, having a good year so far. Part of the Danny Webb GP camp as well, helping these riders a lot. But wow, what a fantastic race. We had thrills, we had spills, and we had plenty of drama to keep us entertained and to keep everyone entertained at home.
Yeah, well, it was really, really good race. Wow, it blew my breath away. Wow, it was really, really good, and good race by Blake, keeping the pressure on Luke. But obviously, it just wasn't able to make the move. He looked like he backed off on the last couple laps, but fantastic race by Wilson. He's been really deserving of it. He's been working very hard for the last 2-3 years of for this win. So it's been a long time coming. Unlucky on the other guys, but it was still really, really good race for me.
Yeah, it was a really good race, and of course these guys will still have 2 races coming up, and they'll be racing near the same time tomorrow. So what would you learn from this if you're racing practically at that same time tomorrow? Hot conditions are expected once again. Would you potentially try and make changes to your bike, like make tyre pressures slightly softer for tomorrow to deal with these hotter conditions?
Depending on what the rider's feedback was. So for Henry, I feel like there was no mistake there other than he just was trailing the front brake. Archie, it wasn't, I can't really give too much detail because I didn't see how the front tyre was, but definitely for Archie, maybe you could do a couple changes here and there, but I think more for Henry, it's more of a learning process than anything else of going tight, time to get off the brakes rather than trail it in, as I had a very specific crash like that at Donington Park GP in 2021. So it's a learning lesson for Henry, and we know he can do it. We know he's got the pace. I think that might have been the first race he's led at the front this year, so it's good to see him back at the front.
And great result there for Wilson Douts. He'll be very happy with that one. Be very happy with that result. 2.5 seconds was the line. Of course, still 2 races remaining for the Mini GP, LS2 Helmets Mini GP 70 British Championship, but they'll be back at it again. So a great result once again in that race. A great day of racing that we've had here at Ellough Park. It's been beautiful conditions for these riders. Track conditions have been consistently rising, but of course we'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll be racing all day tomorrow. 20 races are on the schedule, and we'll see you then in sunny conditions here in Suffolk.